Hi, Amita.
Hello.
Just wanted to check if you're getting my audio right.
It is
Yes, ma'am, we are getting, ma'am.
Okay, okay, great.
Yes, so do we wait for another 2-3 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. We'll just.
Yeah.
Yeah, another 2-3 minutes and we'll start.
Okay.
Thank you.
Poonam ma'am, Amita ma'am, have the resource persons joined? Yeah, Ms. Rekha.
Is working.
Sir, this webinar is open for all the employees, because I'm sure we'll all agree that workplaces cannot become safe without everybody's contribution, right? So this is not for women only, surely not. This is open for everybody, everybody. Yeah.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, should we begin now?
Yes, Priyanshu, you can start.
Yeah, I think you can begin.
Very good afternoon to each one of you. I, Prachi Madnani, on behalf of the Career Opportunity Cell of Janki Devi Memorial College, welcomes you all to an insightful national webinar on workplace safety, protection of employees at workspace, and legal remedies, in collaboration with IQAC for students and working women. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Shilpa Chaudhary ma'am, IQAC convener, to please say a few words.
Thank you, Prachi. Women entering workforce, women entering labor force, I think it's a goal which all societies are aspiring to achieve, because financial independence is an important component of women's emancipation in present times. However, the process of women's entry into workplaces also entails some concerns about their safety. It is surely the responsibility of society at large and all the stakeholders to ensure that women not just reach their workplace safely, but also are able to work there with complete safety and with dignity and give their best, not just to themselves, to their organization, but also to the entire society at large. So with these words, I extend a very warm welcome to everybody present here for this session. A very warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Urmila Devi, Additional Secretary, UGC, in absentia. I also extend a heartiest welcome to our respected Principal, Professor Swati Pal, in absentia. Both could not come, they couldn't join us today due to some emergent work, but they have conveyed their best wishes for smooth conduct of this session. I also extend a very, very warm welcome to our esteemed resource persons for the day. We are truly indeed proud and privileged to have them today with us, virtually together. Ms. Mriganka, Founder Director of NGO Street Level Awareness Program, Senior Advocate Hina Desai, and Dr. Vikas Kumar from Law Faculty, University of Delhi. A very, very warm welcome to our resource persons and a warm welcome to all the participants. I really hope that this session takes us forward towards not just knowing and understanding what safety concerns are and how they can be addressed, but it also prepares us for the roadmap that we can surely chalk out at our institutions respectively. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Due to some prior commitments, our Principal, Professor Swati Pal, would not be able to attend this webinar with us, but we have with us a recorded video of her addressing sir, and we would like to play that video now.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and a very warm welcome to you for today's talk on a very significant topic entitled Workplace Safety, Protection of Women Employees and Legal Remedies. I'm extremely grateful to the Career Opportunity Cell of Janki Devi Memorial College for organizing this talk, and I'm also very grateful to a few people whom I must mention, distinguished guest, Dr. Urmila Devi, Additional Secretary at the UGC, our resource people, Ms. Mriganka, Ms. Hina Desai, and Dr. Vikas Kumar. Thank you so much for being with us today. As an administrator of a women's college, you will understand, all members of the audience, that for me, the safety and security of all within the college is of paramount importance. This includes, of course, the employees, but more importantly for me, it includes the largest stakeholder of the college, which are the 3,000 plus women students of the college. In my 26 years at this college, there have been some stray incidents which have created a lot of trauma in the minds of our young students. For example, we've often had flashers who have dropped by near the gate or across the boundary wall that separates the college from the ridge. We've had to take recourse for police action. We've had to chase away the flashers. But more importantly, we've had to deal with the trauma that accompanies the hearts and minds of our young and sheltered women students. We have had to counsel them. So for me, the most important thing, of course, is to create an environment in which women feel free to speak up about any indication of sexual harassment that they either observe or that they are themselves subjected to. Not just women students, but as I said, all employees, women employees of the college. So the first thing is an environment for allowing women to express themselves. The other important aspect is alertness. I feel it is very important for all of us in the college to be alert, and whenever we see that there could be a situation in which a case of sexual harassment could be culled out, steps to address that situation. And addressing a situation, not avoiding it, is again very important, because sexual harassment matters often get evaded, they get ignored. There is a tendency to, put them under the carpet, because obviously nobody likes to take on anything which might prove detrimental to what is believed the reputation of the college. But I think that is very short-sighted. I think it is important to take the bull by the horns, as they say, and to really address the matter at hand. So the 3 A's that I believe are absolutely important for the safety and security of women employees and women students in the college are awareness, alertness, and addressal of problems. Of course, we are all aware that sexual harassment policy of the government has to be implemented in all organizations, including education institutions. We're also aware that a very important role is played by the HR of any organization, including, again, in colleges, the administrative block of the college. Every college has, and so does JDMC, an internal complaints committee against sexual harassment. And a very important person in this committee is the legal advisor to the committee. And it is important to choose one who is well versed with such issues and has dealt with such cases. So, I, of course, am a layman when it comes to understanding the nitty-gritties of the legal aspects of sexual harassment. But yes, as an experienced administrator, I know that I have taken certain steps to ensure that sexual harassment is prevented, and that if there is any indication of it, it is immediately addressed. Now, I declare this particular meet open, and I request the Career Counselling Cell to take over and to invite our speakers to address the audience. Thank you.
Thank you. I extend a very warm welcome to our honorable speakers now. Our guest of honor, Dr. Urmila Devi, who serves as the Additional Secretary to UGC, is unable to join us today due to emergent work. Now, I would like to introduce you all to esteemed speakers for the day. We have with us Ms. Mriganka Dadwal, a former Z Business and PTI journalist. She founded SLAP in 2012, an NGO dedicated to preventing gender-based violence in India in response to Nirbhaya gang rape. Mriganka had herself escaped an assault in 2007 and subsequently trained on Israeli street fight Krav Maga. She also continues to practice boxing. Next, we will have Advocate Hina Desai. She has been a practicing lawyer since 3 decades and works on women and human rights issues. Along with advocacy, she voluntarily associates with various NGOs. Lastly, we have with us Dr. Vikas Kumar. Dr. Vikas Kumar is an assistant professor in the Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, and is pursuing a PhD from the Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. His area of interest is international laws, women's safety, and environmental law. Besides the above-mentioned subjects, he has also taught various subjects so far, like criminal laws, women's safety and law, jurisprudence, law of international institutions, law of evidence, cyber laws, and socio-economic offenses in various universities of India. Now, before we kickstart the event, we have the following instructions for the participants. Attendance and feedback forms will be shared at the end of the session. Everyone has to put themselves on mute unless asked otherwise. These certificates will be provided only to those who will be filling the attendance form. Everyone is requested to kindly not draw over the screen and make the meet chaotic. You may switch on your videos, but remember that you are visible to everyone, so kindly maintain the decorum of the session. If at any point of the program you get disconnected for some reason, please rejoin the session using the same meet link. Now, I would like Ms. Mriganka to take this session forward. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Janvi, and thank you, JDMC College, respected principal ma'am and distinguished teachers for inviting me over to conduct this awareness session on women's safety and the safety of women at workplace especially. आज का जो सेशन है उसमें हम बात करेंगे महिलाओं के, खासतौर पे कामकाजी महिलाएं जो हैं उनके सुरक्षा और डिग्निटी के साथ काम कर सकने के हमारे अधिकार की। थैंक यू जानवी, आप हमारे साथ जो है स्लाइड शो पर रहेंगे, तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि स्लाइड को प्लीज शेयर करना स्टार्ट कर दें। थैंक यू सो मच। आई ऑल्सो हैव प्राची विद मी। तो ये सेशन बेसिकली काफी इंटरैक्टिव होने वाला है और उतना ही मजा आएगा जितना कि आप लोग जो है आंसर करेंगे साथ के साथ। तो प्राची हैज काइंडली कंसेंटेड टू शेयर द ऑडियंस रिस्पॉन्सेज टू मी, सो थैंक यू प्राची एज वेल। तो जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि आज का जो हमारा ये फर्स्ट सेशन है, अभी प्रिंसिपल मैम का मैं एड्रेस सुन रही थी और उन्होंने बड़े अच्छे से 3 A's में इस बात को सम अप किया कि एड्रेसल होना चाहिए, अलर्टनेस होनी चाहिए और साथ ही अवेयरनेस होनी चाहिए। तो आज मेरी कोशिश रहेगी कि थ्रू दिस सेशन आप लोगों को अपने ही उन राइट्स की, जो आप ही के अधिकार है, लेकिन अधिकतर जो है आपको पता है 70% केसेस सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट के रिपोर्ट ही नहीं होते, और ये एक बार काउंसिल की रिपोर्ट का कहना है। इसकी वजह क्या है कि ज्यादातर महिलाओं को और ज्यादातर लड़कियों को अपने अधिकारों की जानकारी ही नहीं होती। तो मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि इस सेशन के थ्रू मैं कुछ ऐसी बातें आपके साथ शेयर कर सकूंगी जो आपको स्ट्रेंथ देंगी, जो आपको कॉन्फिडेंस देंगी अपने लिए स्टैंड लेने का। So can we move on to the next slide please? एक बार इस सेशन के स्कोप को मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर लेती हूँ। तो सबसे बड़ी बात तो ये है कि जब हम आईसी कमिटीज पे बैठते हैं और जांच हो रही होती है किसी केस की, तो मोस्ट कॉमन आंसर जो मुझे मिलता है रिस्पोंडेंट से भी और जो कंप्लेनर, जो विक्टिम होती है उनसे भी, हमें पता ही नहीं था कि इसे भी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट कहते हैं या सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट की डेफिनेशन में ये बिहेवियर भी आता है। तो पहले तो हम यही समझ लें कि भारत का कानून सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट को कैसे डिफाइन करता है। ज्यादातर लोगों का मानना है कि अगर किसी ने मुझे टच नहीं किया, फॉर एग्जांपल कुछ ऑफेंसिव स्टेटमेंट दी, तो पता नहीं वो हरासमेंट होगा कि नहीं होगा, और इस वजह से लड़कियां कंप्लेंट करने में भी डिले करती हैं। जब हम रिस्पोंडेंट्स से बात करते हैं कि आपने ऐसा किया, तो ऑफन उनका स्टैंस होता है, लेकिन मूवीज में तो ऐसा बहुत नॉर्मलाइज दिखाया जाता है, इस पे इतना ओवर रिएक्शन क्यों। सो दूसरा पॉइंट आता है कि पॉप कल्चर और सिनेमा, अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम उसी से अपनी कोर्टशिप और रिलेशनशिप की एजुकेशन लेते हैं, लेकिन रील पे जो होता है वो रियल में हमेशा ठीक नहीं होता। तो एक कोई भी कानून हो, इस केस में हम बात कर रहे हैं सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट ऑफ वुमेन एट वर्क प्लेस, प्रिवेंशन, प्रोहिबिशन एंड रिड्रेसल एक्ट की। तो कोई भी कानून जो है वो हवा में या किताब में नहीं होता, उसका एक सोशियो कल्चरल एस्पेक्ट होता है, और उस एस्पेक्ट में ही अगर हम उसको देखें तो उसकी इफेक्टिवनेस को भी हम परख सकते हैं। तो डेफिनेटली ये बॉलीवुड से हमें क्या नहीं सीखना है और क्या सीखना है उस पर बात करेंगे। मी टू के बारे में तो आप लोग प्रेजेंट जनरेशन के, तो आप लोग सभी जानते हैं कि मी टू टेम्पेस्ट आया, और उसके बाद से ही इनफैक्ट एक जो बहुत अच्छी चीज हुई, अब इन टॉपिक्स को हम टबू नहीं मानते, अब हम इनके बारे में खुल के बात करते हैं। सो we'll discuss a little bit about that, और फिर हम प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट्स जो है इस कानून के, कि एक एग्रीव्ड वुमन कौन होती है, उसकी क्या कानूनी डेफिनेशन है, क्या उनके अधिकार हैं। अच्छा, बहुत से लोगों को ये भी लगता है कि जो कानून है ना सिर्फ विमेन के लिए है। जब मैं लोगों को पॉश पॉलिसी कंपनीज के साथ बनवा रही होती हूँ, तो मेन ही नहीं विमेन भी मुझसे बोलते हैं कि लेकिन इसमें ना आपने टर्म वुमन यूज किया है, आप इसको एम्प्लॉई कर दीजिए, आप इसको जनरलाइज कर दीजिए। तो थिंग इज दिस कि भारत के जो रिटायर्ड चीफ जस्टिस थे, जस्टिस वर्मा कमेटी, उनकी रिकमेंडेशंस के आधार पर ये बहुत ही पावरफुल जो है एक टूल, एक कानून बना है। तो कोई ना कोई कारण था कि उन्होंने जो है विमेन के लिए इस कानून को बनाया। जिस देश में पैदा होने से पहले ही जेंडर डिटर्मिन किया जाता है, और उसके बाद डिटर्मिनेशन के बाद अगर हमें पता लगता है कि ये फीमेल है तो शायद फीटिसाइड भी हो जाता है। जिस देश में हर घंटे में 4 महिलाओं के साथ असॉल्ट होते हैं, उस देश में हमें ऐसे कानूनों की जरूरत है। तो ये भी समझना बहुत जरूरी है कि अभी भी इस कानून को लेके जो इतनी रेजिस्टेंस है कि ये कानून क्यों है, तो उस एस्पेक्ट को भी हम लोग बात करेंगे। और इंक्वायरी प्रोसीजर क्या होना चाहिए, टाइमलाइन क्या होनी चाहिए, वो भी मैं आपसे शेयर करूंगी। लेकिन सबसे पहले एक थम्स अप मैं चाहूंगी कि जानकी देवी कॉलेज के लिए, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स के लिए, सभी बच्चों, मुझे पता भी लगे कि आप लोग मुझसे इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, मुझे कैसे पता लगेगा, तो एक थम्स अप अपने कमेंट्स में टाइप कर दीजिए। एंड मे बी वी कैन हैव, ओके नॉट नाउ, अच्छा थम्स अप तो आपने टाइप कर ही दिया होगा, आई होप सो। ओह या, आई गॉट इट, वी गॉट 3 थम्स अप एज वेल। अच्छा, अब एक छोटी सी एक्सरसाइज मैं आप लोगों को देती हूँ। हाँ, आप सभी ने अपनी आंखें बंद करनी है 10 to 15 सेकेंड्स के लिए, और एक शब्द मैं कहूंगी, वो शब्द कहने से जो भी आप इमेजिन करते हैं, जो भी इमेज आपके सामने आती है, आप उसको इमेजिन कीजिए। आपको किसी को बताना नहीं है, बट ये हमारे अपने लिए एक रियलिटी चेक है। सो द वर्ड इज फेमिनिस्ट। फेमिनिस्ट शब्द सुनते ही आपको क्या दिखाई देता है, आप क्या इमेजिन करते हैं? Take 10-20 seconds. So, may I have the next slide, please? आंखें खोल सकते हैं आप लोग। मुझे नहीं पता आप लोगों ने क्या इमेजिन किया था, पर अगर आप स्लाइड देख सकते हैं तो जब हम फेमिनिस्ट कहते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि कोई वुमन जो है गन पॉइंट पर, हमें जो है स्पेशली एंटी मैन है, गन पॉइंट पर जो है वो अपनी बात मनवाना चाहती है, एंड शी इज लेबल्ड। ये लेबलिंग की जाती है कि वो ट्रबल मेकर होगी। ये जो हमारे समाज की लेबलिंग है, ये एड्रेस जब तक हम नहीं करेंगे तब तक कोई भी कानून effective नहीं हो सकता। So will someone like to share, maybe couple of people will like to respond to what did they imagine, or what is the first thing they think of when they hear the word feminist? Any answers? Just a normal woman with strong views. That's actually a fantastic definition. Equal opportunities for men and women, but why only women? The beautiful woman, a woman having a voice, fantastic answers. But tell me, why are we only imagining women? A man can also be a feminist. तो ये भी हम एक तरह से स्टीरियोटाइप ही करते हैं कि ये विमेन का कॉज है तो विमेन के लिए होना चाहिए और विमेन ही उठाएंगी। लेकिन वो विमेन जो है वो एक समाज का हिस्सा है, और समाज में जब कुछ गलत होता है तो असर तो मेन और विमेन दोनों पे पड़ता है। तो ये स्टीरियोटाइपिंग से हमको बाहर निकलना होगा, क्योंकि ये बात इसलिए भी मैं आप लोगों के सामने रख रही हूँ क्योंकि जो आपके एम्प्लॉयर्स हैं वो सिर्फ विमेन तो नहीं है, मेन भी हैं, और ये कानून उनके ऊपर ओनस डालता है कि अगर आपकी एक कंपनी है जिसमें 10 से ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयज हैं तो उनकी सेफ्टी की जिम्मेदारी आपकी है। अच्छा, हमारे देश में राइट टू वर्क विद डिग्निटी तो हमें कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन देता ही है, तो फिर अलग से ये कानून क्यों? क्योंकि वो जो राइट टू वर्क विद डिग्निटी है वो मेन और विमेन पे इक्वली लागू होता है। उसके बावजूद अगर ये, जिसको मैं शॉर्ट में इस कानून को पॉश लॉ के नाम से एड्रेस करूंगी, ये कानून बनाने की जरूरत पड़ी तो इसलिए क्योंकि उस तरह के केसेस हमारे समाज में हो रहे थे। तो ये भी, इसको भी हम बात को ध्यान में रखें। अच्छा, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में आपको दिखाना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि हमने बात की कि फेमिनिस्ट जो है मैन या वुमन दोनों ही हो सकते हैं। ये एक जो तस्वीर मैं आपको दिखा रही हूँ, कोई मुझे बता सकता है कमेंट्स में टाइप करके कि ये लोग कौन लोग हैं? कैन समवन नेम दिस लेडी? इस हैरासमेंट लॉ से इनका बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग कनेक्शन है, एंड इनफैक्ट शी इज द रीजन दैट वी हैव, आज जो हम पॉश लॉ की और आज जो हम मी टू की बात करते हैं, यस दे आर फार्मर्स काइंड ऑफ। एनी अदर गेसेस, एनीबॉडी? जब हम फेमिनिस्ट बोलते हैं तो शायद हम एक मैन को, हमने में से किसी ने भी बोला भी नहीं, इमेजिन भी नहीं करते हैं। ये जो लेडी है इनका नाम भंवरी देवी है, और भंवरी देवी जो है ये एक सोशल वर्कर थी। यस, शी इज अ फार्मर फ्रॉम, शी इज नॉट अ फार्मर फ्रॉम राजस्थान, शी इज अ सोशल वर्कर फ्रॉम राजस्थान। मी टू से बहुत पहले, मैं आपको बात बता रही हूँ 90s, 90 के दशक की। आप में से बहुत से बच्चे, मतलब बच्चे होंगे, आप लोग बहुत छोटे ही रहे होंगे, तब की ये बात है शी वॉज अ सोशल वर्कर, और उस समय जो है बाल विवाह यानी कि छोटे बच्चों की शादी कर देना ये एक जो है सोशल इवल था, और उसके लिए वो राजस्थान गवर्नमेंट की एम्प्लॉय थी। उस बाल विवाह को रोकना उनका प्रोफेशन था। जब एक ऐसे ही बाल विवाह को इन्होंने रोकने की कोशिश करी तो दूसरी जाति के लोगों ने इससे ऑफेंस ली। वो शादी तो उन्होंने रुकवा दी, लेकिन उससे ऑफेंड होकर के कुछ दिनों के बाद भवरी देवी के साथ 5 लोगों ने गैंगरेप किया। 5 लोगों के गैंगरेप करने के बाद आप उम्मीद करेंगे कि शायद उनको जस्टिस लगाने के लिए, जस्टिस पाने के लिए कानून के बड़े चक्कर लगाने पड़े होंगे। आप लोग गेस कर सकते हैं कि कितनी सुनवाई मिली होगी इनको, कितने के बाद इनको जो है कोर्ट के चक्कर लगाने पड़े होंगे। एनी नंबर यू वांट टू गिव मी? एनीवन वांट्स टू टाइप? कि जब एक महिला के साथ गैंगरेप हो जाता है और वो कानून का दरवाजा खटखटाती है और वो बोलती है कि मेरे साथ अन्याय हुआ है, मुझे न्याय दीजिए, तो उसको कानून के कितने चक्कर, 20, 40 आप लोग लिख रहे हैं। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि आप लोग रिस्पॉन्ड कर रहे हैं। 50, 25, 70। बहुत दुख की बात है ये। मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि क्यों ये कानून, जब लोग पूछते हैं कि कानून क्यों जरूरी है ना, तब ये बातों को हमें इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में देखना बहुत जरूरी होता है। सिर्फ एक हियरिंग में पहली बात तो पुलिस ने उनकी कंप्लेंट नहीं लिखी। दूसरी बात, जब उन्होंने कंप्लेंट लिखाने बाद में जब उनकी कंप्लेंट लिखी गई तो कहा गया आपने इतनी डिले क्यों करी। तीसरी बात उनसे कही गई कि एक नीची जाति की जो महिला है उसका ऊंची जाति के लोग भला क्यों बलात्कार करेंगे। और कोर्ट ने एक बार में उन सारे कल्प्रिट्स को लेट गो कर दिया, बरी कर दिया, ये कहते हुए कि एक चाचा और एक भतीजा एक साथ एक समय में एक महिला का बलात्कार कैसे कर सकते हैं। ये ग्रॉस इनजस्टिस नहीं है तो ये क्या है? लेकिन ये हमारे समाज की सच्चाई है। तो जब हम पूछते हैं कि आखिर सिर्फ महिलाओं को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए कानून क्यों, तो इस सोशल सच्चाई को हमें मानना पड़ेगा कि हम सभी पढ़ी लिखी महिलाएं और मेट्रो सिटीज में रहने वाली एम्पावर्ड महिलाएं भी नहीं होती हैं। बहुत सी महिलाएं ऐसी होती हैं जो रूरल, मतलब हार्डली उनको कोई एक्सेस है जस्टिस का, लेकिन जो लॉ है वो आखिरी और वीकेस्ट लिंक तक पहुंचना चाहिए। इसलिए इस तरह के मजबूत कानून बनाने की जरूरत है। तो खैर, जब ये किस्सा हुआ, भवरी देवी जी का किस्सा हुआ, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे जा सकते हैं हम लोग। तो वहां पर ऐसा नहीं है कि समाज में सब लोग चुपचाप बैठे थे। राजस्थान की कुछ एनजीओज जो हैं वो सामने आई, और जैसे कि निर्भया के समय में आप सब लोग स्ट्रीट्स पे उतरे थे, उस जमाने में 90s में 97 के आसपास जो है, उस जमाने में जो है वहां के एनजीओ जो है वो भी जो है सड़कों पर उतरे। उन्होंने भी कहा कि ग्रॉस इनजस्टिस है, हम इसके लिए लड़ाई करेंगे। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में विशाखा नाम की एक एनजीओ ने राजस्थान गवर्नमेंट के अगेंस्ट में जो है एक केस डाला, और उसमें ये था कि जब वो गवर्नमेंट के लिए वर्क कर रही थी और एक एम्प्लॉय थी तो उनकी सुरक्षा की जिम्मेदारी भी राजस्थान सरकार की होनी चाहिए थी। और फाइनली इस पूरी लड़ाई के बाद जो है विशाखा गाइडलाइंस के नाम से कुछ गाइडलाइंस ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जारी करी, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि एक वुमेन जब काम पे जाती है तो उनकी सेफ्टी का ओनस उनके एम्प्लॉयर का होता है। ये शुरुआत थी पोश लॉ की। पोश लॉ बहुत बाद में आया, 2013 में आया, लेकिन 97 से लेकर के 2013 तक यही जो गाइडलाइंस थी, बहुत ही लिमिटेड स्कोप था इनका, लेकिन फिर भी फ्रॉम नथिंग वी केम टू हैविंग सम एक्नॉलेजमेंट, और ये जो है विशाखा गाइडलाइंस की वजह से हुआ। अब 2013 तक बहुत से ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस इस गाइडलाइंस के एम्बिट के बाहर थे, और आप लोगों को पता ही है 2012 में एक ऐसा कांड हुआ जिसने पूरी दुनिया को हिला के रख दिया। हम बात कर रहे हैं निर्भया की। उसके बाद एक कमेटी गठित हुई जिसको जस्टिस वर्मा कमेटी के नाम से जाना जाता है, और विमेन के साथ होने वाले असॉल्ट, किसी भी फॉर्म में हो, रेप हो, असॉल्ट हो, एसिड अटैक हो, हैरासमेंट एट वर्क प्लेस हो, इस पे एक इंक्वायरी बैठी कि क्यों ये सब हो रहे हैं और किस तरह से इन चीजों को रोका जाए। और वहां से जो उनकी रिकमेंडेशंस थी उसमें से ये जो रिकमेंडेशन निकल के आई कि कामकाजी महिलाओं के लिए, एक तरफ हम कहते हैं कि ग्लास सीलिंग तोड़ दीजिए, लड़कियों को हम बोलते हैं बाहर जाइए, अपने ड्रीम्स जिए, लेकिन और आपकी प्रिंसिपल मैम जब एड्रेस कर रही थी, सो आई लव, शी सेड बट वी हैव टू क्रिएट एन एनवायरनमेंट जहां पर वो खुद को एक्सप्रेस तो कर सके और जहां पर वो सेफ तो फील कर सके। तो वहां से पॉश जो है कानून 2013 में बनता है। अच्छा, कैन वी हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? हाँ, लेकिन अब कानून के एस्पेक्ट, मैंने आपको एक सोशल एस्पेक्ट बताया, मैंने आपके साथ कानून की बात करी, लेकिन ये दोनों चीजें जो है इनको हम एक बार जोड़ के देखें तो रेप के कल्चर को जब तक हम नॉर्मलाइज करते रहेंगे, जब तक हम बहुत से बिहेवियर्स को बोलते रहेंगे कि इतना तो चलता है, ये लड़की ओवर रिएक्ट क्यों कर रही है, जो मैंने आपसे अभी एक तस्वीर दिखाई थी और कहा था कि हम एज अ ट्रबल मेकर हम उनको ब्रांड कर देते हैं, जब तक हम ये ब्रांडिंग करते रहेंगे। एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली, सेशन के शुरू में शायद देयर वाज अ मेल पार्टिसिपेंट हु wanted to participate and I was so happy that आपके टीचर ने कहा कि ये सिर्फ गर्ल्स के लिए तो नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी ये सेशन ऑल द मोर गर्ल्स एंड बॉयज दोनों के लिए है, कि लड़के ये तो समझें कि टेलीविजन पे जो हर चीज वो देखते हैं, शायद उनकी गलती नहीं है, शायद हम उनको, शायद पॉप कल्चर के नाम पे हम उनको गलत जानकारी दे रहे हैं, तो हमारा काम है कि हम उनको सही गाइडेंस भी दें। So we will definitely talk a little bit about the Bollywood effect. Next slide, please. अच्छा, ये एक फिल्मी गाना है, ये गाना कौन सा है, कौन पहचानेगा इसको? Whoever can recognize and write the lyrics, please type the lyrics in the comment. बॉलीवुड की सबसे खूबसूरत एक जोड़ी है, लेकिन ये गाने के लिरिक्स जो है उसको मैं चाहती हूँ कि आप लोग थोड़ा ध्यान से नोटिस करें। तेरा पीछा ना छोड़ूंगा, कैन समवन? हाँ, तो मैं इसको बता देती हूँ आपको। इस गाने के लाइंस कुछ ऐसे है कि तेरा पीछा ना छोड़ूंगा सोनिए, डाल दे चाहे जेल में। सो इफ आई वर टू ट्रांसलेट दिस, ठीक है, फिल्म में अच्छा लगता है और स्क्रीन पे शायद हम देख के लेट गो भी कर देंगे, बट ट्रांसलेटेड इन इंग्लिश इट मीन्स that I am a stalker, I will follow you no matter what. Even if I'm put in jail, I have no respect for law. But is this the message that we want to give to our children? We need to know the difference between real and real. But does everybody, especially impressionable teenagers, जब आप एक relationship की, एक courtship की जो है अपने मन में image form कर रहे होते हैं और उनको पता लगता है कि नहीं, ये तो stalking तो ओके है, लड़कियां तो खुश होती है, नाम में तो हाँ है, हंसी तो फंसी, you know, all stereotypes, all so wrong, and we are feeding this to our children every day. So maybe it is time that we stand up and say कि ठीक है, फिल्म में अच्छा लगता होगा, शायद हमें नहीं लगता, लेकिन शायद चलता होगा, रियल लाइफ में नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल। तो नो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट शब्द है कि क्या हमें नहीं चाहिए। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। एक और, ये कल्ट सॉन्ग है, ये सॉन्ग कौन पहचानेगा? आई थिंक आप लोग तो यंगस्टर्स है, ये वाला गाना पहचान, हाँ, डर मूवी, बट व्हाट इज द सॉन्ग? आई वांट टू नो द लिरिक्स। इस गाने के लिरिक्स कुछ ऐसे थे, तू है मेरी किरण, यस, बट द लिरिक्स वर तू हाँ कर या ना कर। सो बेसिकली ट्रांसलेटेड इट मीन्स आई हैव नो रिस्पेक्ट फॉर योर यस और योर नो, नो रिस्पेक्ट फॉर योर कंसेंट। कंसेंट जो है पॉश कानून का सबसे बड़ा जो डिफाइनिंग फैक्टर है कि कैसे आप सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट को डिफाइन करेंगे। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। इससे बाद वाली स्लाइड पे जाते हैं हम लोग, इस पे वापस आएंगे। एंड वन मोर, एक स्लाइड और आगे, आई थिंक वी हैव मिस्ड दैट वन। नेक्स्ट, यस, दिस इज द वन। तो आप देख रहे हैं स्पाइडरमैन जो है वो विलेन भी है, वो हीरो भी है, तो हीरो और हरासर के बीच में जो एक थिन सी लाइन होती है, उस लाइन को हम क्या बोलते हैं? आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेड दैट, बट आई लाइक टू हियर फ्रॉम यू गाइज। वही काम हीरो करता है तो वो ठीक होता है, वही काम जब एक हरासर करता है तो गलत होता है। यहाँ पे ये कैसे डिफाइन करे कि हरासमेंट क्या है, वो क्या एक ऑपरेटिंग वर्ड होता है? एनीवन? कंसेंट। दीक्षा हैज आंसर्ड कंसेंट। यस दीक्षा, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर आंसरिंग। कंसेंट जानना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि हम वापस की स्लाइड पे जाते हैं। लेट्स गो टू द मिस्टर बच्चन स्लाइड। जानवी, हम 2 स्लाइड पीछे जाएंगे। हाँ जी, तो इसीलिए अगर हमें फिल्मों से कुछ सीखना ही है तो हम ये समझें कि नो मीन्स नो, कंसेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। यस, सो ऑन वन हैंड अगर कोई बॉय पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं तो मैं उनसे ये कहना चाहूंगी कि जब कोई लड़की ना बोलती है तो हंसी तो फंसी नहीं होता, ना का मतलब ना ही होता है, और इसको अपनी ईगो पे हमें लेने की जरूरत भी नहीं होती। यू नो, दिस होल लॉ इज बेसिकली अबाउट कंसेंट। तो इफ इट वाज कंसेंशुअल एंड 2 people went out, it is nobody's problem. But when somebody forces another person, coaxes some other person, or threatens some other person to indulge in a behavior which they do not want, then we need this law. Okay, तो चलिए अब, yes, this is Mr. Bachchan from Pink movie, rightly understood. Moving on to the next slide and the next one. Yes. तो अब इस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम लोग देखते हैं एक पिरामिड जो है, रेप कल्चर का पिरामिड बनता कैसे है, शुरुआत कहाँ से होती है। नीचे के अगर आप स्लाइड को देखें तो यही जो हमने अभी कुछ कुछ बातें करी कि थोड़ी छेड़छाड़, थोड़ा सड़क पे जा रहे हैं तो कमेंट कर दिया, स्टॉकिंग कर दी, ना को ना मानना, रिपीटेडली पीछे जाना, जब इस तरह के कोई बिहेवियर होते हैं और एक लड़की जाकर के किसी से कहने की भी कोशिश करती है, बड़ों से भी अगर वो कहने की कोशिश करती है, तो एक मैं जनरल सामाजिक बिहेवियर की बात आपको बता रही हूँ कि उनको कहा जाता है कि आप इग्नोर कीजिए, आप ध्यान मत दीजिए, आप बोलोगे तो बात बढ़ेगी, नहीं भी बोलेंगे तो भी बात बढ़ेगी, बट द प्रॉब्लम इज कि द गर्ल इज टोल्ड कि तुम्हारी इज्जत का सवाल है तो तुम बात मत करो। ठीक है, आप शांत हो सकते हैं, अगर कहानी खत्म हो सकती वहां पर तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, मैं आपको बिल्कुल भी नहीं कहूंगी कि आप कन्फ्रंट करिए, लेकिन वही पर्सन जो पहले स्टॉक करता है, वही पर्सन जो पहले कैटकॉल्स करता है, अब उसके हौसले बढ़ जाते हैं, क्योंकि हम तो कह देते हैं मेन विल बी मेन, मतलब क्या कर सकते हैं, राइट। जब उसके हौसले बढ़ते हैं तो वही पर्सन है जो कल का ग्रोपर है, जो पब्लिक प्लेस में मेट्रो में आते जाते कितनी लड़कियों ने फेस किया होगा कि किसी ने भी जो है पीछे से टच कर दिया, क्योंकि उन्हें पता है, उनको डर नहीं है, उनको पता है कि समाज, कानून तो बहुत बाद में आता है, जब समाज होके कर देता है तो लोग जो है बेधड़क होकर के ये काम करते हैं। इसको अगर हम वर्क प्लेस हरासमेंट कानून के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखें तो कैसे, मतलब कि आपको लगता है कि आप सेक्सुअल फेवर्स मांग सकते हैं क्योंकि आप तो एम्प्लॉयर हैं, तो वो कुछ कहेंगे नहीं, और ऐसा अगर होता है और कोई वुमन कंप्लेन करने की कोशिश करती है तो लोग बोलते हैं कि देखो नौकरी तुम्हारी चली जाएगी, आपकी नौकरी चली जाएगी, आपको कल को कोई और नौकरी नहीं देगा, आप ट्रबल मेकर हो, इसलिए आप कंप्लेन मत कीजिए। ये सोच कहीं ना कहीं मी टू मूवमेंट ने बहुत हद तक तोड़ी है। आज की लड़कियों से मैं उम्मीद करती हूँ कि एंड डू राइट इन द कमेंट्स, हाउ विल यू हैंडल अ सिचुएशन वेयर यू फेल्ट कि आप हरासमेंट फेस कर रही हैं, तो क्या आप उसको लेट गो करेंगी या समाज के डर से, एंड बी ट्रूथफुल टू योरसेल्फ कि क्या आप उसको लेट गो करेंगी, जाने देंगी, या आप कन्फ्रंट करेंगी और एक स्टैंड लेंगी। क्योंकि देखिए भवरी देवी ने अगर स्टैंड नहीं लिया होता तो हमारे पास वो विशाखा गाइडलाइंस होती नहीं, उन्होंने बहुत सफर किया, लेकिन उनकी सफरिंग की वजह से आज हम इतने एम्पावर्ड हैं। जब इन बिहेवियर्स को हम ओगलिंग, कैट कॉल्स, ग्रुपिंग से आगे बढ़ते हैं, जब स्टैंड लेंगे, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू हियर दैट अंकिता। तो देखिए कैट कॉल, स्टॉकिंग, ग्रुपिंग, ग्रुपिंग पर आते आते लोग बोलते हैं कि चलो गलत तो है पर जाने दो, तुम अपना जॉब बदल लो या तुम उस बस से मत जाना। बात पहुंच जाती है रेप और असॉल्ट तक, क्योंकि इनके हौसले बढ़, और जब रेप और असॉल्ट और एसिड अटैक होते हैं ना तो हम सब मोमबत्तियां लेके सड़कों पर उतर आते हैं कि ये तो बहुत गलत है, लेकिन इस गलती को होने किसने दिया? Who allowed this to happen? Us. So that is why taking a stand is very, very important, and that is why awareness of your rights is very, very important. Yes, main point does come to our safety. Absolutely, Palak. Very well said. So we'll move to next slide, please. Next one. Yes. तो यहाँ से मैं ये जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट था, सोशल कॉन्टेक्स्ट, कंसेंट की बात, वहां से मैं आपको अब कानून पर लेकर के आती हूँ, क्योंकि आफ्टर ऑल ये कानून जो कि अभी पलक ने बोला कि मेन पॉइंट तो आपकी सेफ्टी का ही है, तो कोई भी कानून जो है वो यही इंश्योर कर सकता है कि अगर आपको अपने राइट्स की अवेयरनेस है तो आप उसके लिए लड़ सकें। बट हमारे जैसे सोशल वर्कर्स का काम होता है, जैसे मैं आज आपसे टॉक दे रही हूँ, कि जब किसी के साथ ये हो तो हम उसको लेबल करने की जगह फ्री एंड फेयर चांस दें, एक इंक्वायरी का। इस एस्पेक्ट को भी मैं यहाँ पर टच करूंगी। सबसे पहले कानून में हम डिफाइन कर लेते हैं कि इसको जो है वो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट को डिफाइन कैसे करता है। तो एनी फिजिकल, वर्बल और नॉन वर्बल एक्ट विच इज सेक्सुअल इन नेचर एंड लाइक आई सेड कंसेंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, तो अनवेलकम। जरूरी नहीं है कि किसी ने हमें टच किया तो ही उसने हमें हरास किया, हो सकता है कि किसी ने कोई ऐसी बात कही हो जो सेक्सुअल नेचर की हो, जो मुझे ऑफेंसिव लगी, हो सकता है मेरी मुझे बॉडी शेमिंग करी या कोई ऐसा कमेंट दिया मेरे फिजिकल अपीयरेंस पे जो मुझे पसंद नहीं आया। फॉर एग्जांपल, एक्चुअली नेक्स्ट स्लाइड पे चलते हैं हम लोग, मैं आपको बहुत से उसके एग्जांपल्स बताऊंगी। ओके, वी विल, आई थिंक वी डोंट हैव दैट स्लाइड हियर, नेवर माइंड, वी कैन गो बैक टू द प्रीवियस वन। तो क्या क्या हाँ, यहाँ पे तो क्या क्या जो है बिहेवियर्स उनको हम सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट कह सकते हैं। और ये स्लाइड, ये बात बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अगर आप नोट कर रहे हैं तो नोट कर लीजिए प्लीज। कोई भी अगर आपको बॉडी शेमिंग करता है, अगर आपकी बॉडी के ऊपर या कोई ऐसा रिमार्क करते हैं, उनकी बात जो है वो इस नेचर के जो अनवेलकम और ऑफेंसिव लगती है, इट कुड बी कंस्ट्रूड एज सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट। वर्क प्लेस में, चाहे आप कॉलेज में हैं, आप स्टूडेंट्स हैं, तो आपको ज्यादा मार्क्स देंगे अगर आप कंप्लाई करते हैं। तो ये जो थ्रेट या कोर्सेशन है, दैट इज ऑल्सो हरासमेंट। आपके प्रेजेंस में कुछ ऐसी पिक्चर्स जो है वो आपको दिखाना या देखना, या इस तरह के जो है जोक्स जो बैड टेस्ट में है, वो भी हरासमेंट है। फिर प्रमोशन, या कल को आप लोग जॉब्स करेंगे, सो प्रमोशन या रेज के लिए जो है कि अगर आप सेक्सुअल फेवर देती हैं तो आपको कल को प्रमोशन मिलेगा, दिस इज ऑल्सो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट। ये धमकी देना कि अगर आप सेक्सुअल फेवर नहीं देती हैं तो आपका प्रमोशन रोक दिया जाएगा या आपको आगे नहीं बढ़ने दिया जाएगा, ये भी सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट है। तो बेसिकली बहुत ही वाइड डेफिनेशन है। एंड मोर इम्पोर्टेंटली, अगर कोई भी व्यक्ति ऐसा, आई थिंक सम पीपल वांट टू आस्क क्वेश्चंस, तो आप लोग अपने क्वेश्चंस लिख लीजिए। सेशन के एंड में हम 10 मिनट्स का Q&A सेशन रखा है हम लोगों ने, तो आई विल बी आंसरिंग ऑल योर क्वेरीज। Janvi and Priya, maybe you can note down their questions or collect so that I can address it. Yeah. So so speaking of the harassment law, roughly overall इसको अगर आप देखें तो इसका मतलब निकलता है कि ऐसा वर्क एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करना जहां पर एक वुमन अपने जेंडर की वजह से थ्रेटेंड फील करती है, वो सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट है। अब दूसरी बात है कि ये प्रूव करने, अगर हमारे साथ ऐसा हो रहा है और हम ICC में जाके कंप्लेंट करते हैं, तो ये कानून ने क्या किया कि ये ओनस एम्प्लॉयर के ऊपर डाल दिया है कि जो एम्प्लॉयर है वो, उनकी जिम्मेदारी है कि उनके नोटिस में अगर आता है कि हमारे ऑफिस में या हमारे कॉलेज में इस तरह की कोई घटना हो रही है, तो उसकी इंक्वायरी करना उनकी जिम्मेदारी है और पता लगाना फैक्ट्स का कि क्या हुआ क्या नहीं हुआ। इसमें जो नीचे स्लाइड में मैंने 2 पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं, उनको ध्यान से पढ़िए आप लोग। कि कई बारी इंक्वायरी के समय रिस्पोंडेंट्स बोलते हैं कि लेकिन मैम मेरी ना इंटेंशन ऐसी नहीं थी। आपकी इंटेंशन से फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, सामने वाले पर आपकी कही बात का क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ। आपने शायद जोक समझ के कहा, आपने शायद फैक्ट शेमिंग करी और जोक समझ के करी, पर सामने वाले को अगर आपकी वो बात जो है अनवेलकम लगी तो वो हरासमेंट हो सकता है। कैन वी हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। अच्छा, तो अब ये समझना जरूरी है कि जब ओनर्स हम बात कर रहे हैं कि एम्प्लॉयर के ऊपर है, तो हमारे लिए, हमारे एज अ वुमन क्या अधिकार है और एक एम्प्लॉयर की हमारे प्रति क्या जिम्मेदारी है। तो सबसे पहले तो कोई भी कंपनी, जैसे कि मैंने आपको शुरू में भी बताया था कि 10 से ज्यादा अगर एम्प्लॉयज हैं किसी भी कंपनी में, चाहे वो 10 मेल एम्प्लॉयज ही क्यों ना हो, तो उस कंपनी की एक क्लियर रिटन टाइमलाइन बाउंड पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए, जिसको प्रिवेंशन ऑफ सेक्सुअल हरासमेंट पॉलिसी बोलते हैं। और ये पॉश लॉ की गाइडलाइंस के अंदर में बनी पॉलिसी होनी चाहिए। उसमें लिखा होना चाहिए कि क्या बिहेवियर्स जो है उसको हरासमेंट माना जाएगा और अगर ऐसे केसेस होते हैं तो क्या एक्शन लिया जाएगा, जिससे कि फेयरनेस जो है, सभी केसेस में फेयरनेस हो सके। दूसरी बात है, हर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में, आपके कॉलेज में भी होगी, कितने बच्चों को ये बात पता है वैसे कि आपके इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी के मेंबर्स कौन है और आप उनको, आपके पास उनके कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स होने चाहिए ताकि जरूरत पड़ने पर आप उनको रीच आउट भी कर सके। So do write yes or no if you know somebody, if you know that you have an ICC and you have the contact numbers, write yes. If you don't know, then write no. That's the reality check for you guys. So we have both kind of answers. Okay. तो आज मैं आप लोगों को आपके कॉलेज के बिहाफ पे बता रही हूँ कि आपके कॉलेज में एक इंटरनल कंप्लेंट कमेटी होगी। अगर आप सेक्सुअली हरास्ड फील करते हैं किसी भी जो स्टूडेंट या सीनियर के द्वारा या किसी कॉलेज के एम्प्लॉय के द्वारा, तो आप उस ICC कमेटी में जाकर के अपनी कंप्लेंट दर्ज करा सकती हैं। कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी एक बहुत बड़ा क्लॉज होता है, मैं आगे उस पर बात करेंगी, क्योंकि बहुत सी लड़कियों के दिमाग में इस समय चल रहा होगा कि लेकिन उससे तो मेरा नाम खराब होगा। ऐसा नहीं है, बहुत ही अच्छा ये कानून है, इस पर मैं आगे आती हूँ। अवेयरनेस और ट्रेनिंग, तो जैसे कि अवेयरनेस सेशन में आप लोग आज बैठे हैं, तो ये भी एम्प्लॉयर्स की जिम्मेदारी है कि वो अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के स्टाफ को ट्रेन करें, क्योंकि इस कानून का नाम जो है ऊपर टॉप में आप देखें तो प्रिवेंशन, प्रोहिबिशन और रिड्रेसल है। रिड्रेसल यानी कि किसी कंप्लेंट को एड्रेस करना, लेकिन उससे पहले उसको रोका जाए, ये बहुत जरूरी है और ये बहुत संभव भी है। कैन वी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। अच्छा, अब आप लोगों को आईसीसी के बारे में भी थोड़ा सा बताती हूँ। बहुत से मुझे लगता है कि फॉर वन येस आई गॉट एटलीस्ट 4 और 5 नोज, सो रफली बहुत से बच्चों को पता ही नहीं है। आईसीसी जो है लड़कियां ताकि कंफर्टेबल फील कर सके, उसकी चेयर जो है वो एक सीनियर वुमन होती है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से। उसमें 2 मिनिमम मेंबर्स होते हैं। आई थिंक आपके टीचर्स या आपके प्रोफेसर्स आफ्टर माय सेशन में भी आप कॉलेज में सर्कुलेट कर सकते हैं आईसीसी के बारे में कि कितने मेंबर्स हैं, क्या उनके कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स हैं। और जैसे मैं एक एनजीओ मेंबर हूँ, ऐसा ही एक मेंबर आपकी आईसीसी कमेटी में भी होंगी, क्योंकि कई बारी लोगों को लगता है कि मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शायद मेरे साथ न्याय ना करे, मे बी आई विल नॉट गेट हर्ड और जस्टिस नहीं मिलेगी मुझे। तो एक न्यूट्रल एक्सटर्नल मेंबर भी हर आईसीसी का हिस्सा होती हैं। अगर आप अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जो लोग हैं उनसे शिकायत करने से घबरा रहे हैं, तो आप डायरेक्टली उन्हें भी रीच आउट कर सकते हैं। सो डू फाइंड आउट कि आपके यहाँ एक्सटर्नल एनजीओ मेंबर कौन है और उनका कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर क्या है। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। अच्छा, पॉश पॉलिसी के क्रिएशन में हम नहीं जाएंगे, बट आप लोगों को मैं सिर्फ ये बता देती हूँ कि उस जो पॉश पॉलिसी होगी, अगर आप कॉलेज की पॉश पॉलिसी है तो आई एम श्योर है, आप उसको लेके पढ़ें। ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी, आपके राइट है तो उसको पता करना भी आपकी जिम्मेदारी है। उसमें बहुत ही क्लियर प्रोसीजर लिखे होंगे कि अगर ऐसा होता है तो आप किसके पास जाएं, क्या करें, कितने दिनों में, टाइमलाइन बाउंड कितने दिनों में करें, क्या आपके राइट्स हैं, और अगर कंप्लेंट पाई जाती है कि आपकी कंप्लेंट सही है तो क्या क्या एक्शन लिया जा सकता है। ये बहुत जरूरी है। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। नेक्स्ट, अब बात करते हैं कि आप लोगों के अधिकार क्या है। शायद बहुत से लोग ये जानने में बहुत इंटरेस्टेड भी होंगे, और इसको लेकर के बहुत ज्यादा मतलब अवेयरनेस की कमी है, क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है कि मेरे पास कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा और मैं फुल टाइम कहीं पे काम कर रही होंगी तो ही मैं वहां की एम्प्लॉय मानी जाऊंगी। ऐसा बिल्कुल भी नहीं है। कानून इतना वाइड है कि आप फुल टाइम काम करती हैं, पार्ट टाइम काम करती हैं, एडहॉक पे काम करती हैं, वॉलंटियर काम कर रही हैं, या फिर आपके घर में आने वाली जो मेड है, डेली वेजर्स हैं, उनको तक ये कानून कवर करता है। तो बेसिकली एनी वुमन। अच्छा, अब आपके वर्क प्लेस में नहीं हुआ, लेट से आप एक कंपनी में काम करते हैं, आप दूसरी कंपनी में अपने ऑफिस के काम से गए और वहां पर आपके साथ किसी ने हरासमेंट किया, तो उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की जिम्मेदारी है कि इसीलिए आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मेल हो या फीमेल हो, आपके यहाँ एक इंक्वायरी कमेटी होनी जरूरी है, जो ये इस की सुनवाई उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की आईसीसी को करनी होगी। ये मैंडेटरी है, ये ऑप्शनल नहीं है कि हम कर सकते हैं या बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस, ये मैंडेटरी है, और ऐसा नहीं करने पर जो है फाइन भी लगता है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। अच्छा, तो फर्स्ट पॉइंट जैसा कि आप पढ़ सकते हैं कि एक एम्पैथेटिक और नॉन जजमेंटल एटीट्यूड, ये इन लेटर कहना बड़ा मुश्किल है, इन स्पिरिट होना बहुत जरूरी है। इसीलिए मैंने जो आपको पीछे इतनी कहानी सुनाई कि जब एज अ सोसाइटी, जब तक हम लोग ये जजमेंट बंद नहीं करेंगे, जैसे कि आई विल जस्ट शेयर अ कोट विद यू गाइस। सिगरेट पीने से लड़कों के लंग्स और लड़कियों का चरित्र खराब होता है। ये हमारे समाज की स्टीरियोटाइपिंग है। तो मैं बिल्कुल भी सिगरेट पीने को एंडोर्स नहीं कर रही हूँ, नोबडी शुड स्मोक, बट सेम एक्शन के लिए हम मेन और वुमेन को अलग कसौटियों पे खड़ा करते हैं। आईसीसी कानून कितना भी अच्छा हो, लेकिन अगर आईसीसी मेंबर्स नॉन जजमेंटल नहीं है, अगर वो कहीं ना कहीं पर शॉर्ट ड्रेस पहनेगी तो ऐसा तो होगा ही, इस तरह का एटीट्यूड रख के आगे बढ़ेंगे तो बड़ा मुश्किल होगा कि इन स्पिरिट भी हम उसको फॉलो कर सके। लेकिन इसीलिए आईसीसी की ट्रेनिंग भी करवाई जाती है और टाइम टू टाइम सेंसिटाइजेशन भी करवाया जाता है। तो अगर आईसीसी मेंबर्स हैं तो आई एम श्योर कि दे एंश्योर कि वो नॉन जजमेंटल हियरिंग ही हो। एम्पैथी के साथ हम जो है वुमन की बात को सुने, उसमें जजमेंट नहीं पास करें। अब किस तरह का जजमेंट हो सकता है, मैं आपको एग्जांपल देती हूँ। मैं लिफ्ट के पास खड़ी थी, मेरे बॉस ने मुझे लिफ्ट दी, घर जाने के लिए लिफ्ट दी, तो मैं मना नहीं कर पाई। अब हम उससे नहीं पूछ सकते आपने ना तभी क्यों नहीं बोला, यू नेवर नो, शी मे हैव बीन स्केयर्ड। सो ये क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग जो है, जिसके डर से ज्यादातर लड़कियां कंप्लेंट करती ही नहीं है, ये क्रॉस क्वेश्चनिंग की जगह अगर हम एम्पैथी के साथ समझने की कोशिश करें कि क्या हुआ होगा, so that will be a very good thing। आइडियल वर्ल्ड में ऐसा होना चाहिए। राइट्स की ही बात करें तो पॉइंट 2 पे चलते हैं कि बहुत से लोग अपनी कंप्लेंट को लिखना नहीं जानते, लेकिन ये मैंडेटरी है कि अगर आपको कंप्लेंट करनी है तो आपको एक रिटन कंप्लेंट देनी है। नहीं कर सकते, कोई बात नहीं, आईसीसी से जाके आप हेल्प मांग सकते हैं कि मुझे मेरे साथ ये इंसिडेंट हुआ है, मुझे इसको फाइल करने में हेल्प कीजिए। दे आर बाउंड टू हेल्प यू डू दैट। आपकी कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी, जो मैंने पिछली स्लाइड में भी बात करी थी। बहुत सी लड़कियों को लगता है कि अगर लेकिन बात तो मैं कह दूंगी लेकिन फिर सारी जगह में ये फैल जाएगी। तो आईसीसी जो है आपकी कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी को, और जिनके खिलाफ कंप्लेंट हुई है, जब तक वो केस पेंडिंग है, दोनों की जो है, दोनों के साथ फेयरनेस के साथ बिहेव करते हुए दोनों के आइडेंटिटी को कॉन्फिडेंशियल रखती है। अगली बात ये हुई कि जब आपने कंप्लेंट करी तो जिसके खिलाफ कंप्लेंट करी उनको एक बाउंड टाइमलाइन के अंदर जो है अपना आंसर देना होता है कि क्यों, मतलब क्या हुआ, उनका वर्जन। तो उनके रिटन स्टेटमेंट को आप पढ़ सकती हैं, उसके अगेंस्ट में आप अपना केस तैयार कर सकती हैं, जो उन्होंने एविडेंस दी वो भी आप देख सकती हैं, वो भी आपका रिटन स्टेटमेंट देख सकते हैं। लिस्ट ऑफ विटनेसेस, कुछ लोग रहे होंगे उस केस के, उस हादसे के दौरान, अगर हैं तो उन्होंने क्या कहा वो भी पढ़ने का आपको अधिकार है। आप आईसीसी से वो ले सकती हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। जानवी, कैन आई हैव द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज? थैंक यू सो मच। अच्छा, ये जो है मैं वर्क प्लेस के लिए बता रही हूँ आपको। कॉलेज में आई विल हैव टू चेक, डू यू स्टिल गेट 90 days ऑफ लीव? सो 90 days ऑफ लीव, आपकी जितनी भी छुट्टी बनती है उसके बियॉन्ड अगर इंक्वायरी चल रही है केस की, और आपको लगता है कि नहीं फिजिकली मेरे लिए थ्रेट है, या ये जो है इनके होते हुए तो मैं वहां जाऊंगी तो मेरी सेफ्टी पर बात आ जाती है, तो 90 days तक की पेड लीव ओवर एंड अबव योर पेंडिंग लीव आप ले सकती हैं। दूसरा हो सकता है कि आप एक ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में काम करती हूँ जो जिसमें कई डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, और आपके बॉस जो है उनके साथ में, या आपके जो इमीडिएट सीनियर हैं उनके साथ में इस तरह का कोई इंसिडेंट आपके हो गया है और आप उनको रिपोर्ट नहीं करना चाहती, तो आपका या उनका ट्रांसफर कर दिया जाए, ये भी मांग रखने का अधिकार एक लड़की रखती है। रिस्पोंडेंट जो है एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, रिस्पोंडेंट या रिस्पोंडेंट के लॉयर आकर के कंप्लेन करने वाली महिला को क्रॉस क्वेश्चन नहीं कर सकते डायरेक्टली। हाँ, वो आईसीसी को अपना वर्जन ऑफ स्टोरी बता सकते हैं, और आईसी जो है एक वेल ट्रेन्ड आईसी आपसे सवाल कर सकती है, लेकिन रिस्पोंडेंट से थ्रेटन होने की कोई आपको जरूरत नहीं है। मूविंग ऑन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। ये सब कुछ होने के बाद, इंक्वायरी होने के बाद क्या जो है स्टेप्स और एक्शन लिए जाएंगे वो भी मैं आपसे शेयर करती हूँ। बट लेट्स से कि जो भी एक्शन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेती है, अगर आप उससे सेटिस्फाइड नहीं है, हालांकि आईसी जो है उसके पास एक सिविल कोर्ट की पावर होती है, लेकिन तब आपके पास ये भी आपको कानून अधिकार देता है कि तब आप कोर्ट में जाकर के एक पुलिस कंप्लेंट फाइल कर सकती हैं, आप कोर्ट में जाकर के कंप्लेंट फाइल कर सकती हैं कि मैं सेटिस्फाइड नहीं हूँ इस एक्शन से। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। हाँ, ये भी इतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है जितना कि मैंने राइट्स ऑफ अग्रीव्ड वुमन आपसे शेयर किए। स्पेशली सभी लोग इस बात को जाने, क्योंकि जब हम इस कानून के बारे में बात करते हैं मुझे इतनी रेजिस्टेंस फेस करनी पड़ती है, लेकिन ये तो लड़कों के साथ अन्याय हो गया। आपको लगता है कि एक रिटायर्ड चीफ जस्टिस कोई ऐसा कानून बना सकते हैं जो फ्री एंड फेयर नहीं होगा, जिसमें सामने वाले की सुनवाई नहीं होगी? मी टू मूवमेंट जब हुआ था तो एटलीस्ट एज सोशल वर्कर्स व्हाट वी फेल्ट वाज कि बात कही जानी चाहिए, बहुत जरूरी है, लेकिन सामने वाले को भी एक नॉन बायस्ड मैनर में हियरिंग हो सके, ये मौका हमें जरूर देना चाहिए। 1 मिनट में जजमेंट्स नहीं पास किए जाते, सभी एस्पेक्ट्स को 360 डिग्री देखा जाना चाहिए, और ये इसमें इंश्योर किया गया है। तो एक कंप्लेंट की कॉपी उनको भी मिलनी चाहिए, एविडेंस जो है उसकी लिस्ट उन्हें भी मिलनी चाहिए, उन्हें भी मौका मिलना चाहिए, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज, कि वो अपनी बात कह सके, अपना वर्जन कह सके, उनको भी कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी का अधिकार है। और कई बार लोग बोलते हैं फेक केस हो गया मैम, फेक केस हो जाएगा तो क्या हो जाएगा। अब जी हाँ, संभावना है, वी कैन नॉट डिनाई कि कई केसेस जो है कई बारी जो है उसमें बात बढ़ा के नहीं कही जाती, या नहीं हुआ होता और ऐसा कह दिया जाता है, तो उनके पास भी कॉम्पिटेंट कोर्ट में अपील करने का अधिकार है। नॉट जस्ट दैट, इम्पॉर्टेंट ये कि हमें एक स्ट्रेंथ मिली, एक पावर मिली है, लेकिन अगर हम इसका मिसयूज करते हैं तो रिस्पोंडेंट जो है वो भी वुमेन के खिलाफ एक्शन ले सकता है, और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो है अगर पाते हैं कि ये बैड इंटेंट से की गई कंप्लेंट थी और इसमें कोई सच्चाई नहीं थी, तो उनके ऊपर भी एक्शन लिया जा सकता है। मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। I think we still have 5-10 minutes. We'll still have a question. I'm just coming to the end of the presentation. ये इंक्वायरी प्रोसीजर एक बार आप लोग समझ लीजिए। आई कुड मेल इट टू यू गाइज लेटर इफ एनीबडी वांट्स। slaponline.org हमारा जो साइट है उस पर ये ब्लॉग में भी आपको टाइमलाइन बाउंड प्रोसीजर मिल जाएगा। तो कोई भी केस होने के 3 months के अंदर आपको कंप्लेन करना है, ठीक है। अब कुछ केसेस में जो है, जैसे कि लेट से असॉल्ट हुआ और किसी लड़की को अस्पताल जाना पड़ गया, उस वजह से वो अपनी कंप्लेंट समय पे नहीं कर पाई, या ग्रेव उनको जो है मेंटल टॉर्चर हुआ जिसकी वजह से उनकी तबीयत बिगड़ गई और वो 3 मंथ्स में कंप्लेंट नहीं कर पाई, तो स्पेशल केसेस में आईसी के पास ये भी होता है कि वो 3 मंथ्स का और एक्सटेंशन दे सकती है, लेकिन लिखित में 3 से 6 महीने के अंदर ये कंप्लेंट होनी चाहिए। कंप्लेंट की कॉपी जो है उसके बाद रिस्पॉन्डेंट को दी जाती है, 10 दिन के अंदर उनको इस कॉपी पे रिस्पॉन्ड करना होता है। इसके बाद जो है इंक्वायरी विटनेसेस से बात करती है। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। एंड विद इन 90 डेज जो है 90 डेज के अंदर इंक्वायरी जो है कंप्लीट की जाती है और उसकी जो भी रिपोर्ट है एम्प्लॉयर को सबमिट की जाती है। विद इन 60 डेज यानी कि उसके 2 महीने के अंदर इसके ऊपर एक्शन होता है। सो ये रफली ऐसा नहीं है कि केस जो एक बहुत बड़ी पहले प्रॉब्लम हुआ करती थी कि केसेस सालों साल पेंडिंग होते जाते हैं, तो जस्टिस वर्मा कमेटी ने इस बात को भी इंश्योर किया कि आपको फास्ट एंड क्विक जस्टिस मिलनी चाहिए इस पूरे प्रोसीजर के अंडर में। तो ये है हमारा इंक्वायरी प्रोसीजर। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। हाँ, अब क्या क्या हो सकता है, तो क्या क्या एक्शन लिया जा सकता है जब आप कंप्लेंट करते हैं। इसमें प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी ऑफ पनिशमेंट को ध्यान रखना होगा। बहुत सी चीजें की जा सकती हैं, पर इस पर डिपेंड करता है कि ऑफेंस कितनी ग्रेव थी, कितनी बड़ी थी। क्या कोई ऐसा स्टेटमेंट दिया जो ऑफेंसिव तो था लेकिन उसके लिए किसी की जॉब नहीं जानी चाहिए, या असॉल्ट किया। ये दोनों चीजों को हम एक तराजू में तो नहीं तोल सकते। तो रिटन अपॉलजी से लेके वार्निंग से लेके काउंसलिंग, पहला स्टेप तो काउंसलिंग ही होता है। इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि अगर हमें फर्स्ट स्टेप ये होता है कि फर्स्ट वी शुड बी एबल टू से नो effectively, but a counseling is the first step which is taken towards the respondent. Written apology है, उनकी पे रेज जो है वो भी withhold की जा सकती है, उनके इंक्रीमेंट और प्रमोशन जो है होल्ड किए जा सकते हैं। कई केसेस में टर्मिनेशन भी होता है। और यहाँ पे भी ये बता दूं, जब आप फाइनेंशियल कॉम्पेंसेशन पढ़ते हैं तो ऐसा नहीं है कि केस हुआ और आपने कंप्लेंट करी तो आप उन्होंने कुछ पैसे देके चुप करा दिया। दैट इज नॉट मेंट बाय फाइनेंशियल कॉम्पेंसेशन, बट लेट्स से जैसे कि मैंने कहा कि हॉस्पिटल जाने की नौबत आई, तो उनका जो मेडिकल एक्सपेंस है या कोई जो मेंटल ट्रॉमा था उसकी वजह से जो डॉक्टर का खर्चा है, वो खर्च, वो एक्सपेंस जो है, या लेट्स से उनका प्रमोशन रोक दिया, तो आपका प्रमोशन रुकने की वजह से जो आपका फाइनेंशियल लॉस हुआ उसकी भरपाई का कॉम्पेंसेशन आईसी जो है वो दे सकती है। मूविंग ऑन टू द लास्ट स्लाइड। हाँ, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसा नहीं करती हैं तो उनको 50,000 का जुर्माना पहली बार, दूसरी बार 1 लाख का जुर्माना। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। और थर्ड टाइम अगर आईसीसी नहीं बनाते या रिकमेंडेशंस पे एक्ट नहीं करते तो थर्ड टाइम में बिजनेस लाइसेंस कैंसिलेशन भी हो सकती है। लास्ट स्लाइड पे हम लोग चलते हैं। नेक्स्ट, कुछ प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स, इससे पहले वाले स्लाइड पे एक बारी कुछ प्रैक्टिकल टिप्स भी मैं आप लोगों को जाते जाते देना चाहूंगी कि क्या करें। ये तो सारी बात मैंने आपको बताई, भाई कानून ऐसा होता है, टाइमलाइन ऐसी होती है, समाज को ये करना चाहिए, बट प्रैक्टिकली क्या होता है। प्रैक्टिकली सब लोग नहीं कर पाते। क्यों नहीं कर पाते? पहला, लैक ऑफ अवेयरनेस। तो जिस भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में है, जिस भी कॉलेज में है, अपनी पॉश पॉलिसी को जरूर पढ़िए। कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल आज आप लोग ये नोट कर लीजिए, और मेरे लिए सक्सेस तब होगी अगर आप लोग इन 4-5 में से कम जो फर्स्ट 2 स्टेप्स हैं वो आप लोग फॉलो करें। पॉश पॉलिसी जरूर पढ़ें, आईसीसी मेंबर्स के कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर्स जरूर निकालें, उनको सर्कुलेट करें आपस में। कहीं पे भी अगर आपको लगता है कि ये बिहेवियर मुझे एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है तो फाइंड योर वॉइस, लर्न टू से नो, डू नॉट बी अफ्रेड ऑफ बीइंग जज्ड। इसीलिए मैंने आपको भवरी देवी की कहानी भी सुनाई थी कि अगर हम सभी डरते रहेंगे और कोई सच के लिए खड़ा ही नहीं होगा तो फिर कैसे समाज बदलेगा। तो फाइंड योर वॉइस एंड लर्न टू से नो। फोर्थ टॉपिक पॉइंट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। क्या होता है कि जब किसी के साथ एक केस होता है ना तो वो डरते हैं और वो दूसरों से बात नहीं करते, क्योंकि उनको लगता है कि पता नहीं मेरे साथ क्या हो जाएगा। तो आज जिस सोशल मीडिया के इरा में हम रहते हैं, आई थिंक सपोर्ट पाना कंपैरेटिवली बहुत आसान है। कंपैरेटिवली बोल रही हूँ मैं। ये जो हरासर्स होते हैं ना, ये सीरियल ऑफेंडर्स होते हैं। वो किसी एक जन को परेशान नहीं करते, एक सीरीज होती है। और कई बार जैसे कि मी टू में भी हमने देखा, जब बात हुई तो 7-8 लड़कियों ने बोला कि मी टू मी टू मी टू, बट व्हेन यू टॉक यू फाइंड ऐसा नहीं है, सपोर्ट भी मिल सकता है। अंकिता, अगर आप ऐसा सोचोगे कि किसी को सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता, लेट्स बी दैट सपोर्ट, राइट। तो आप जब बात करते हैं तो आपको पता लगेगा कि दूसरे ने भी वो फेस किया, और वहां से आपका केस भी स्ट्रांग होता है। अगर 3 या 4 महिलाएं जो है वो सेम चीज को फेस कर रही हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं पे वो एक स्ट्रांग केस भी बनता है। मूविंग ऑन, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। 5वां पॉइंट किसी भी चीज के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। कॉलेज में आप लोग नोट्स लेते होंगे। नोट्स इसलिए लेते हैं क्योंकि हम लोग बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग भी बात होती है ना, बाद में हम भूल जाते हैं एग्जैक्टली क्या हुआ था और हमें कंफ्यूज करना आसान होता है। तो मैं आपको सजेस्ट करूंगी कि लाइक आई सेड कि ये ना वन इंसिडेंट बहुत ही कम या बहुत ही ग्रॉस एक्ट होगा कि असॉल्ट हुआ, धीरे 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 हौसला बढ़ता जाता है। एक सीरीज ऑफ इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं, उन सीरीज ऑफ इंसिडेंट्स को आप डॉक्यूमेंट कीजिए। लेट्स से मैं पानी की टंकी के पास पानी पी रही थी, उस समय जो है इस ऑफेंडर ने मुझे आकर के ये बोला। इट कैन बी कोरैबोरेटेड लेटर ऑन कि अच्छा 4 लोगों ने देखा कि हाँ पानी की टंकी के पास तो खड़े थे। तो इंसिडेंट्स को आप ना डायरी में एकदम डेट टाइम और क्या इंसिडेंट हुआ था, किस जगह पे हुआ था, जितना आप उसको डिटेल में नोट करेंगे, कल को अगर आईसी के पास जाके ये कंप्लेंट करनी पड़ी तो उनके लिए इंक्वायरी कमेटी के लिए आसान होगा रिस्पोंडेंट को कन्फ्रंट करना। अच्छा, दूसरी बात है, कई बार हमें एक ऐसा मैसेज आता है जिसपे हमें गुस्सा आता है और गुस्से में उसको डिलीट कर देते हैं। अब आपने अपनी एविडेंस तो डिलीट ही कर दी, तो ये बिल्कुल नहीं करना है। उसको रखिए, वो आपकी एविडेंस है। आजकल क्योंकि सबके पास स्मार्टफोन है, ऑल्दो ऑफेंडर्स अपनी ट्रेल नहीं छोड़ते हैं, बहुत स्मार्ट होते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी अगर पॉसिबल हो सके उस सिनेरियो में तो गुस्सा करने की जगह, रिस्पॉन्ड करने की जगह रिकॉर्ड कीजिए, तो आपके पास एविडेंस होगी। सो आई एम होपिंग कि मैंने आपको ब्रॉडली, इतना बड़ा ये कानून है, 1 घंटे के अंदर ब्रॉडली मैंने इसके सभी एस्पेक्ट्स आप लोगों को आंसर किए हैं। And over to you guys, if you have any questions for me, any feedback for me, I'll be very happy to hear. Thank you.
So much, ma'am, for such far-fetching and practical knowledge for imparting such far-fetching knowledge to us. So we take a few questions from the participants now. Ma'am, some of the students are asking to provide the PPT presentation.
The PPT, sure. I will send you a recap of my session. So I will send a recap on the email and you can circulate it.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
It was a very elaborative and nice talk.
Thank you.
Being a member, external member of RC Cash with IGNU,
Okay.
I would like to seek a clarification from you. Like in Delhi University colleges and many other colleges, there are also study centers of other organizations such as SOL, NCWEB, IGNU, and even in private colleges, they do rent out or give their premises for working, part-time working of other organizations than the parent organization.
Yes.
So in case during the time or the day when the parent organization has allowed another organization to be working in the parent organization premises, and both the organizations staff members are working together,
Right.
then the complainant should be referring to the concerned committee of which organization, the parent organization or the other organization who is taking the premises for a shorter duration, let us say once a week or twice a week.
So ideally, I'm saying it varies from case to case. I mean, more things have to be looked into, but ideally, the premises where the act has happened, whatever ICC governs that premises should be the one taking up that case, ideally. But also, what are the service rules? And if there was another arrangement, that also has to be looked into. So it will be better to take the advice of a legal counsel also.
Okay, but does this act or the policy mention anywhere? Because such kind of situations occur even in private institutions and many office areas. For example, let us say a office complex, for example. So if in an office complex, if it has been rented to a particular organization, one room, and if the mishap occurs outside that room, then the building owner is responsible, or would it be the rented office person?
Okay, so see, one aspect is that let's say it's your college and some outside student came there for some project or some work and they got harassed. So your ICC will be taking up that case. But you're saying, and similarly for an office, okay. But now you're talking of another thing wherein you have sublet your office.
Yes.
So whoever you have sublet the office to, they are the employer, right?
Mhm.
So the employer has the onus to conduct the inquiry. And hence, let's say, for example, in your campus, there is one more organization which is running a program, and it happened during their programs. Their ICC can, their ICC. Yeah. So in that case, their ICC should ideally take it up. But another scenario is wherein somebody from an outside, so she's not my employee, she works in some other organization, but someone from my organization, when she was visiting my organization, a case happened, then my ICC will be handling that case.
Okay, but when it is an office complex, I'm just taking a more
Yes.
deeper view to this. If it is a office complex and a room has been rented to another organization, so if it happens with the staff member of that office of that particular room, to she is an employee of the organization who was rented that room, but the incidents occurred in the office complex, in the corridor of the office complex, then where should she file the complaint?
Depends on, like you're saying, so basically let me sum it up. You're saying that, let's say it is your college and you've rented out, then the incident happened in the college, okay, but not in the sublet room. uh, uh, who is the offender? Is the offender an employee of your college? In that case, it is, your ICC. Is the offender an employee of the organization that had sublet the premises? In that case, their inquiry committee should be inquiring the case. But again, as I said, it's better to, from case to case, what are the exact points and what are the service rules, that I'm not aware of. I'm just giving you a broad purview.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Also, I have a request, students, if you like the session, please go and check out our Facebook page, which is Slap Online, like FB/Slap Online, and please leave your testimonials or comments. I'll really appreciate your feedback. To teachers also. Any other questions?
There is one other question in the chat box. The students are asking, does your organization provide internships to the students, college students?
Yes, at times when we are running a campaign, then we'll be very happy to have, interns. Sure.
Okay, we'll really look forward to that. If you can send the information to our college, I think our girls would be interested in that. Obviously, it has to work out that they don't have exams and all at that time, but otherwise we would love to have it.
Because of pandemic, we are not having as many campaigns. We have a lot of on-ground campaigns in college spaces only. So we always invite young people to become a part of, our activities. Stay in touch with our social media handles. Facebook is the easiest place to stay in touch with. So FB/Slap Online. And we keep posting from time to time also if new activities happening. So you guys can always reach out.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we would like to move on to the next speaker. We have senior advocate Hina Desai ma'am now. She has been practicing law for 3 decades now and voluntarily associates with various NGOs. We would like you to take the session forward, ma'am.
Ma'am, are you able to unmute?
Is it now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
you're audible, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry that it wasn't me. Hello, I'm Hina Desai. I'm a practicing lawyer. I work in these areas, and the earlier speaker spoke of the legal aspect and the ICC. I think I have just joined before 5 minutes. So what I got an idea that she has explained you about the act and the provisions of the Sexual Harassment Act. Or I don't know what else she has covered. So I don't want to repeat. So will you please? Hello. I just want to know from Ms. Janki Devi that what are the points she has covered in her session?
Ma'am, Vedanta is running SLAP organization, street level program for women safety. So she has covered some of the legal aspects, including workplace safety, Vishakha guidelines. And she has also told the girls about the awareness to be spreaded among students and women about these programs. And she told us about internal complaint committee also.
Okay, very well. So I will not repeat the same thing because it's a waste of time also. Okay, so what is important to know about the legal procedure and especially the legal cases? Lastly, I heard that she said that Vishakha guidelines, and she has explained the Bauri Devi case, so I'm not repeating it. So problem is with the few things. Earlier, we had before Vishakha in 1988, we had only one case of the Rupan Deol Bajaj. She was an IPS officer, and but that case was filed under Section 354 and Section 509 of the outraging the modesty of a woman and a word, gesture, or act to insult a lady. So this is the provision of the IPC under Section 354 and 509, and she has filed the complaint. And after 17 years, she fought. She has given the legal battle till Supreme Court, and in the Supreme Court in 2005. She won the case and the punishment was upheld in 2005 by the Supreme Court. So this was one case. Thereafter, a number of things have happened because we are working in this field for so many years. Number of things had happened. Before this Vishakha guidelines, we had one case. We had come across one lady. She was working in the trust hospital as a typist, and the security person was a retired major, and he was harassing her like anything every day, and no one was cooperating her, no one was supporting her. So finally, one day she filed the complaint when that major said that आज मेरी बीवी घर पे नहीं है, शाम को तैयार होकर अच्छी साड़ी पहन के घर पे आना. So we filed the complaint to the police station. Police, after an inquiry, he said that this man, a major, he's a very, he has served for the country. And these are the false allegations made against him. So they have filed the B summary in the court saying that with a bad intention, this woman had filed the false complaint against me. So in that case, we had to convince the judicial magistrate first class to register the offense under Section 354 and 509, saying that this B summary is wrongfully filed by the police. In fact, this is what had happened. And finally, the complaint was registered and the offense was registered by the judicial magistrate first class. and the inquiry was set up and everything. Then the procedure took the place. For all these things, some legal knowledge and some legal expertise are also required, because these are all technical things. As the earlier speaker had explained you about the ICC, I will not repeat it. But now the scenario has changed in the practical life. What we feel or what we face nowadays is that something different. Like every day, whenever the woman files the complaint about the sexual harassment at the workplace, general defense of the officer, if he's a superior or the boss of that complainant, a woman, he will come with her defense that she was not carrying out my orders, and therefore he generally labels charges against him, charges against her, that charges of the insubordination charges are level against her. So this happens that every time when the woman files this complaint, she has to face the other kind of the charges also. Not only this, but the insubordination charges. When the person is of the particular caste, then he will say that because of this caste or this tribe or whatever, or this community particular, and therefore these false allegations are made against me. So now the scenario is very different, and very tactfully it is required to be handled. And these problems are faced by the women. So this is very important thing to be noted, that not only these insubordination charges, then yes, another thing is this, the denial of the employment. Denial, I will explain you that in the case where certain things, like now the principal employee is not employing directly to the employees. Generally, he gives a labor contract, or a labor contractor will also give a contract to the subcontractor for the employment of the women or any other labor work, for the labor work. Like in the one pharmaceutical company, the women were asked by the subcontractor that she should be employed only through the recommendation of the colleague employee, a woman employee who is actually working there. So he will directly ask either to that woman, new one, or to that colleague, that woman who is working there, that whether this woman is a pregnant. If she's a pregnant, she will be denied the employment. So this kind of the new methods of harassment has started in the workplace, denying the employment on the ground of the pregnancy. Sometimes it happens that she may be pregnant for 2 months or 3 months. She can definitely work for other 6-7 months also. Despite of this fact, they start denying the employment to the pregnant woman. So this amounts to harassment at the workplace also. So the different kinds of this denial. Another thing of women are facing the cyber crime also. Sometimes it is found that in the employment, the colleague or any person who is in the employment along with this woman, or who is a complainant or who is a victim, may pass her number or address to the another person, or sometimes he creates the fake ID and also passes the messages or the videos showing his private part, or any kind of the any kind of the cyber crime. So the complaint is also not, I mean, the scope and the work area of the ICC has expanded, enlarged like anything. Whether they have to look into the cyber offenses also, if they look into the cyber crime, then they have to know the number of techniques, like how to identify or how to verify whose number is this, how to get the details of this, whether this person is related to this person. And simultaneously, it is required to file the cyber complaint also under the before the with the cyber cell, police department. So this complex has increased like anything, and ICC is facing each and every time a new kind of the methods or pattern of offenses at the workplace. So ICC is required to be updated, upgraded by the latest computer cybercrime offenses also. So this is one of the important aspects which is required to be look into this matter in this kind of the issues and this kind of the complaints. Now another thing which is which we have faced just before 1 year in this COVID pandemic situation, that at one place the temporary ad hoc basis security female guards were appointed, and they were asked in the interview that what kind of the work they are ready to do. So generally they reply any kind of work, whatever you said, sir. So this is a usual thing that I'm ready to work in this 8 hours, whatever work you give me. But the same was interpreted in the different way by the interviewer, who is also head of this department, is a central government department. That she said, in fact, she has said that all kind of work she is ready to do in this, she's willing to. So we have asked in that context, we have asked whether she's ready to. Actually, security guard are required to be worked at the security or at the gate or at the main gate or whatever, but not for the internal office or the cabin or anything, or chambers or anything to be guarded by the female security guards. So the number of the women complain that he used to call us in his cabin and ask us to prepare the coffee, ask us to prepare to bring the file, ask us to call someone, ask us to close the door. And then he was demanding indecent demands were there, and making the atmosphere very uncomfortable. And sometimes also passing the such kind of the vulgar or some sexual kind of the comment. And the defense of the woman, a lady security guards, were that whether because there was no person there and the peon sitting outside was the only witness and the door was closed, and he said that I have not seen anything and I have not heard anything. So and the officer or the head of the department said that because they wanted the favor to make them permanent, and I have denied it, and therefore they have created this scene. So now always it is a complainant statement versus the respondent statement. One say against the another say. Now, as per the legal scenario, who is required to be believed? So, as per the law, in all the societies, that the victim is required to be heard or to be listened. So in that case, when one word against the another word, then in that case, victim is required to be heard or to be listened. So this is the thing. So every time the ICC is required to enhance its role, making them updating this. It also happens in number of cases when the harassment is done by the superior or the head of the department or some powerful person. In that case, the rest of the women are reluctant to file the complaint. Not only file the complaint, but the ICC member has and not willing to work with this in this situation. The recent case which I have explained you right just now, in that case also he was the head of the department. When we have asked as a ICC that and that also of the highly educated people, and then we have asked to the members, the local ICC, that why didn't they take any action against this person respondent. They say, how can we do that, because he's our boss. So this is a very dangerous thing, because it is very difficult for a complainant to gather the courage to file the complaint, because as already she knows that he's the boss, he's the head of the department, and therefore he will not, therefore no one will cooperate us. So therefore, if this kind of the attitude of the ICC will also harm and also prejudice the situation also. So in this case, or in all such kind of cases, ICC requires time and again to hammer and to make them educate that irrespective of any post, any influential person, any powerful person, or the head of the department, or the boss, or the employer, you have to do your job sincerely and honestly, and not to be influenced by any post or the person or his commands or his power. So this is important thing in this case. Another thing that we have found that ICC members, ICC is generally formed within the institution. Only the legal person or some person from the NGO or from the legal background will be of the outside of this institution. So number of times we have found that the ICC members are reluctant to be a part of the ICC just because they don't want to be they don't like themselves to be projected, and they are more reluctant to work in it. There are two things. One is that they have to take the decision either in this side or on the other side, and it may create some other problems for them, those who are the members. And those and another situation where it is over and above their regular duties, so they may not cope up with this new problem of the ICC and another thing. And they consume a lot of time also sometimes. We have seen that in the number of cases, it consumes a lot of time. So therefore, these are the things that ICC, the institution is required to take the permission of the members to be a part of the ICC. One thing. Second thing, that most of the time, all the employees of the institutions are denying to or are not accepting to be a part of the ICC. In that case also, after giving the training, full training, they are all the members are required to be a part of the ICC turn by turn. Every year, if they are employing or not employing, engaging ICC 3 members from this employment or the branch or from the office or from the institution, the same may continue, may not continue, but others are also required to be included in the ICC committee. And also man members are also required to be included. Now, these are the points, those who have actually faced the problems during the trial or during the ICC complaint before the ICC. This is one thing. These are small things, but it consumes a lot of time and it takes a longer time in taking the decision by the ICC. Regarding the report of ICC, as the earlier speaker has said that it should be completed within the 3 months, 90 days, and then the report to be submitted within 60 days and all. Now, this report is required to be signed by everyone. What are the points is required? For the conducting the ICC Internal Complaint Committee, how to conduct the inquiry is very important because there are certain things which are required to be followed in the ICC inquiry. What is it? A principle of natural justice. What is the principle of natural justice? That the complainant who has filed the complaint, against whom the complaint is filed, the respondent is required to be served a copy of the complaint well in advance. He has a right to file the reply, his defense. He has right to engage for his defense and expertise or colleague or whoever. I mean, he feels that he can be well represented through this person. Should be allowed to be represented by in the ICC. One thing. Another thing that earlier it was said that he has no right to cross-examine the complainant, but he has a definitely right to give his version or to give the explanation regarding the situation and regarding the incident. He has also right to, in the certain case, he has a right to produce his documents like a complainant, as he can also file the, she can also produce her evidences like mobile or SMS or WhatsApp chat or email or Facebook thing, or her colleague or any other person who can give the this one thing. Now, another thing, this is one thing that the respondent has also right to give his explanation, his evidences, his documentary evidences, and also his witnesses, everything. Though there is no cross-examination, but this is required to be brought on the record. He has also right to ask for certain documents if it is with the department. Like in certain cases, it happens that it was put on the portal, like an institution portal. Sometimes it happens that the complainant has asked for the leave, which was not sanctioned by the officer. If it is not sanctioned by the officer, then he has to put it. So there are certain departments in which certain organizations where there is a procedure that it is required to be displayed on the portal that your leave is sanctioned or not sanctioned. So in that case, he has a right to ask for the for access of such kind of the mechanism of the institution or the organization. That is it. And he has a right to know, a right to access the report also. And again, he has a right to file the appeal. Now, before it goes to the legal court, if any action is taken against the respondent has a right to file the appeal within the same institution. So the institution which is forming the ICC is required to form the appellate jurisdiction, whether it appellate jurisdiction is with the same department or with the headquarter or the head department or head of the department. If it is so that whenever the ICC is formed, the appellate forum is also to be formed. So whenever anything against either side, whether against the complainant or against the respondent, in that case, the ICC is required to inform to either side that you have a right to file the appeal within 30 days, within 60 days, whatever. And therefore, whenever the ICC is formed, it is required to be, appellate forum is required to be formed and mentioned. Whether it is with it is vested with the head of the department. Then. And another thing, when we are discussing about the legal aspect, it is required to be understand that whenever any offense is done or any punishment is imposed, in that case, final punishment is required to be affirmed by the disciplinary authority and not by the ICC. Though all the provisions are written in the Act of 2013, but simultaneously service rules are also required to be looked into. One cannot ignore the service rules or the industrial employment standing order or the employment standing order of any institution, any organization, any company, or any department. So service rules can't be ignored. So ICC has a right to recommend for the punishment, any kind of the punishment, maybe punishment of the stoppage of the increment in the permanent nature, in the 2 increments, in the temporary nature, or for the only of the memo, or whatever the punishment in any form, or the compensation, whatever, which is required to be, which can be recommended, but it is required to be confirmed, or which is required to be with the powers are with the disciplinary authority. Who is the disciplinary authority of the department? Whether he is a head of the department, whether it is a manager, whether it is the dean, whether it is the vice chancellor, or any person who is the disciplinary authority in other cases of the offenses under the service rules and regulations. The disciplinary authority has a right to take the action against or impose the punishment to the respondent, or in case if it is failed, or to against the complainant in few cases. So those who are the member of the ICC are supposed to know the procedure of the inquiry as per the service rule, domestic inquiry, or the departmental, as per the Industrial Disputes Act, the domestic inquiry, as per the department, as per the service rules, it's a departmental inquiry. And those who are well conversant with it are required to be a part of the ICC. And because of this such kind of the small lacunas, sometimes it is difficult for the complainant to get this justice also. because the ICC, though the respondent has no right to cross the complainant, but ICC has all right to understand the nature and the circumstances of the complainant in the circumstantial evidences, and also right to inquire into the details of the incident from the respondent side and from the total environment of the department or company or institution. This is important thing to be understood, because it happens that the respondent may not cooperate all the time, because there are likeliness that if the complaint is proved to be a right or true, then action will be taken against him, and therefore he may not cooperate. In these circumstances, ICC is required to take extra burden on their shoulders to understand the issue and try to give justice to the persons. Now, another thing is required to be looked into, that in the case of the respondent, either side, the complainant cannot also bring the past record of the respondent, except in the case of the sexual harassment. If the complaint is of the sexual harassment at the workplace, in that case, the complainant can also mention about the past record of the respondent. Or in that case, also the ICC has a right to go into the detail of this past record of the respondent, in case only when the complaint is of the sexual harassment. But if any complaint against respondent regarding the corruption, regarding the bribe, regarding failure in his duty, or regarding any other kind of the offenses he has done in the past, cannot brought into the record of this particular case. I think you follow it or not, but you must try to understand that how the ICC is required to work for the safety of women at the workplace and to give the justice to the concerned person. So therefore, the past record, only if it is of the complaint of the sexual harassment, in that case, the past record of the respondent can be brought in the record. If it is a case of the corruption of the respondent, or at the same time, the respondent cannot take the defense that the complainant in the past also, she's a very irregular, she's not good at her work. In the past also, with the earlier officer, she has not obeyed his orders or anything. Such kind of defense, the respondent can also not avail the defense in the complainant. So this is the ICC procedure. It's very lengthy, but to summarize and to give a highlight of it, this is and this requires to be understood. Now, one of the case which I, from the beginning, I fought it, and for me it is very important because this is a reported judgment. I appeared on behalf of the complainant. Complainant was a worker, a woman, and she was working with the pharmaceutical company at Ankleshwar GIDC, very well known and very prestigious company. And that she was good looking. And she was deserted by her husband. So she was single, but her elder sister was also working in the same company. So she was a tall, there were two officers. They were passing some kinds of the comments on her number of times, and they were harassing. And she used to abuse them like anything. Ma ben ki gali jaisa. Sometimes she used to say to these officers. One day, when she was working in the some store department, because it was her duty, and it was just before her duty was over, before few minutes or before some time, these two officers came to her, and then they passed some comments and tried to kiss her. There were two persons. Because she was a tall, she could push them to the wall and sit. And on that time, her blouse was torn, and she was screaming. But everyone was at the almost like to the reach to the gate, because it was a shifting of the duty, and the time is duty hours are over, and everything. And she had given the Ma Ben ki gali. It was not denied by the woman. Then after the working hours, she went to the police, saying that I was harassed by these two men, these officers on this place, and this is my blouse, and this is what had happened and all. Police said, we will not take the complaint of yours. Who are your witnesses? Who has seen you? No one. And police did not take the complaint. Meantime, the police informed to the company people that this woman has come to that police station with this complaint against these two officers. So the two officers have filed the complaint to the police, saying that usne mujhe maa behan ki gali di and all, and they have also given a complaint to this their company. So police has started investigated into the matter on the complaint of the officer against this woman, and he has not taken the complaint of the woman, and no action was taken against him. Meantime, the company has taken the domestic inquiry against, as per the Industrial Disputes Act, Industrial Employment Standing Order, and she was held guilty, and she was out of the job. Then we fought to the trial court, saying that this is what happened. After long battle, trial court held, yes, it seems that there was a sexual harassment, and she was her services were terminated, but she has also admitted that she has given the gali of the Ma Ben ki gali and all. So what else? But this is a pharmaceutical company, and this kind of a woman, if she will be reinstated in the job, then the entire atmosphere will be spoiled, and that will affect the life-saving drugs of this pharmaceutical company, and it will affect adversely to the people at large. And therefore, reinstatement was denied, and she was given some 2 lakhs or rupees or something, 50,000 rupees by way of compensation. Against that, we fought to the High Court, saying that they have label against her, that this kind of a woman should not be reinstated. Who is the judge? How can judge say that it was not an argument of the company? When the judge is believing that she was sexually harassed, but because these two officers have already resigned from the job, and they have left the job, and they have just, they are not with the company, they have taken this stand that yes, she should be given the compensation. And finally, court has said that, and we said that we have also demanded for the expunging of the labeling of a woman, that this kind of the woman. She was given the reinstatement. It was a long battle of almost like of more than 17 years, and she was given 22 lakhs rupees by way of the back wages, and she was also given the reinstatement, and then expunge of such kind of the remarks, such kind of the comment on this woman. So this is what happens when this goes into the court. So women are required to be look into all the procedure, also try to understand, though it's good that ICC is there. It is good that complainant will be heard, and it will be a good that she will get the justice within few. I mean, earlier it happened that it takes almost like in the domestic inquiry and in the departmental inquiry, it takes almost 3 to 4 years in the getting the report, inquiry report also, and takes a longer time to take the action against the concerned person. But now, because of this act, it is somewhere it is beneficial to the complainant also. And in that situation, it is good to take the benefits of this kind of the act, and which is very important. Autonomous women's organizations and lawyers have made taken a lot of pain to draft the Vishakha, to understand, to pursue the Vishakha guidelines, and also at the state level and the district level to frame the, and also participated in the framing of the provisions of this act. So thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to make you understand about the legal provisions and the legal scenario of this act and this kind of the complaint. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such valuable information. This will surely help us a lot. We have all learned a lot from this. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Any questions? Is any questions?
Is there any participant who has a question?
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
May I leave?
thank you.
May I leave the meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Finally, we have with us Dr. Vikas Kumar. He is pursuing PhD from the Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. His area of interest is international laws, women's safety, and environmental law. We would like for you to take over this session, Dr. Kumar. Now.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak on. Prachi, have you invited me to speak on?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Right. Because you were not audible clearly, so I thought I should confirm. Sir. So first of all, very good afternoon to each one of you who are present over here. And before I start saying something, I just want to thanks to the Janki Devi Memorial College for inviting me to speak on such an important and pertinent issue regarding women rights, gender justice, and gender sensitization. And particularly the topic of today is, workplace safety. So my special thanks to the organizing team of the Janki Devi Memorial College for conceiving this idea to have a talk and discussion on such an important topic. Because women, that constitute half of the population of the world, and it is also a proven fact that women, without women, that the very survival of the human society is not possible. So we should address their problems and their grievances. We must have laws. And already we have the laws, but I, because I'm invited to speak on workplace safety, and first of all, I would like to congratulate Mriganka ji for her, efforts, endeavors by creating this NGO SLAP, street level awareness program, the word itself is, word itself describes the purpose, and it is a slap on those who treats women inferior, or who that commits mischief against the woman. So the word, basically it is a acronym, but the word that comes out from this is really very important. So thank you very much, Mriganka ji. You are doing a wonderful work by creating this NGO. Also, I'm because already the mechanism which is given in the post check has already been elaborately discussed by both the speakers, Advocate Hina Desai ji and Mriganka ji. So I just want to fill up the gaps which have been which are left out by the speakers. Otherwise, things are clearly told to you that there would be an ICC that will look after the complaint mechanism, and then that will address the problem. Now, if first of all, my viewpoint is that any tool would be useless if the person who is operating the tool does not know how to use it. What is the meaning of this is that unless the stakeholders knows about the law, either it is a complainant or the respondent, both must know the law. They must be properly display of the law in the premises wherever the law is working. It should be displayed properly, and the ICC which will be formed must know the technicalities of the complaint mechanism. If both the two parties does not know, things would not be corrected, and the justice will not be delivered to the needy, particularly to the females in that case. So now, because of the globalization, as we know, there was a traditional concept that man can only be the bread earner. Now, because of the globalization and increased rate of literacy among females are coming for jobs, and they are now running the families. So the law should take care of their grievances that happens, the problems that may happen with them in the workplace, and it is the duty of the government as well as the employer, both, where the woman that comes for work, that their problems should be properly addressed, their grievances should be addressed. And that's why I am surprised and shocked that the government, as Mriganka ji told, that it took 16 years to the parliament to frame a law after Vishaka guidelines. It took 16 years for the government. So this shows reluctance on the part of the government, a very sensitive issue where women are deprived of their rights, and women are sexually harassed, abused. And in case of Bhavri Devi, where she fought for the rights of the against the of the childs and against the child, that early child marriage, and she was brutally gang raped by the people of the upper caste. That basically she was a Dalit woman. So finally, what happened in that case? The perpetrators were left unpunished. It is because of the lacunas in the law, and because of the system, that legal system which we have in our country. And that's why many women, they does not come for complaint and even that if it is a case beyond the ICC, I mean to say a case of IPC, matter registered in IPC and in some other acts which looks after the issues of the women. Women generally go and report the matter to the police. As that our earlier speaker told to us, 70% of the cases of sexual harassment and abuses goes unreported. The matters which are reported, they come from the educated class or from the elite class, or where the media attention is there. But you will be surprised to know that what happens to the rural girls and rural women and rural persons that comes from the rural background or poor background or underprivileged category. or marginalized sections, they don't report the matter, and no one take care of them, and no one come forward. Generally, when you know that it is a politics, when you know that some cases gets media attention, as recently it happened in Delhi, where a girl of minor age, 6 to 7 years, is raped and by a pujari there in the Delhi, and she was, you know, that burnt thereafter. Then the media is there just to blame the government, and this happens in every government. So the problem is that unless the government understand its responsibility and, you know, that takes the or makes the legal system strong to that an extent that women fearlessly can come and report the matter, then making law will not be enough, and it will not provide justice in the real sense. So now, as the topic is coming to the you know that this mechanism of complaint in ICC, as you know that Mriganka ji has very elaborately discussed the mechanism, and women are, you know, that coming to that. I just want to add on to that, what is the meaning and definition of workplace? Workplace is what? Workplace is not limited to the premises where this incident has actually happened. Actually, in Post Act, Prevention of Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, it is called as Post Act. In Post Act, workplace has been given an extended meaning. And what is that? If suppose the employer has employed transport for their female employers to commute from their place of residence, and in case you know that by the male colleagues of her, if some case of sexual harassment happens there, then it is not the premises. So in that case, what would happen? Where she will report? So the Post Act also covers this. So definition is very wide. It means it includes the transport facility, and it will be the responsibility of the employer. Even in the bus or in the transport, whatever is being provided, it is a car or whatever it is, even if this happens, this will be the duty of the employer. The matter will be referred to the ICC, and employer will have to deal with this kind of sexual harassment. Now, one more thing, you know that, however, Mriganka ji thrown light on that it is the, you know that, what is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment are basically of two kinds. Quid pro quo means it is a this for that, means if you will not accept my offer, you have to face the, or blackmailing tactics, you will have to face the consequences, bitter consequences, like you may be demoted, you will not be promoted, your promotion may be, or a kind of threat that will be given to women or female workers. So here the employer or employee, both may become employer, a dispute may become between employer and employer, a dispute may become employer and employee. Anyone may be guilty. I will just, I'll cover a case whereby, you know, that meaning of extended workplace. So in that case, if this happens, so the employer will have to take the responsibility, and in that place also, that will be covered by the workplace. Now, one more thing I want to add, even nowadays pandemic is going on. In case of pandemic, many works are going through, you know, that video conferencing, like we are participating virtual conference. Now, in that case, if the employer or employee, male employee, is taking a meeting and he does some act which is otherwise derogatory to the dignity of the woman, or which falls under the category of sexual harassment, then the question is whether it will be covered by the Post Act. Yes, it will also be covered by the Post Act. So through whatever the work that is going on through internet, video conferencing, if any act happens, if any conduct on the part of the employer or employee that amounts to sexual harassment, will be treated by the ICC. The complaint may be given by the woman to the ICC. One more thing, that there is one case I just want to mention. I just want to tell you the name of the case, very interesting case. And the name of the case is Saurabh Kumar Malik versus Comptroller and Auditor General of India. This was the case. And in this case, what happened? One of the employee and one of the employee, male employee, and a female colleagues of him, they went to the mess, official mess of a, like in a school, in a college, a male and a female or a girl and a boy visited the canteen. Okay, now this official mess was basically, it was not in the premises of the workplace. It was outside the premises of the workplace. In that case, the male employees did some act which amounts to sexual harassment. Now, when the complaint was filed by the aggrieved lady, by the aggrieved person, in that case, his defense was that mess is not a workplace. And because the Post Act only speaks about workplace, so my case should not fall in the, should not come under the Post Act. And in that case, he tried to defend himself on the basis of the definition of workplace. He wanted to, he wanted to escape just to take the benefit of this. So in this case, the Supreme Court says that it is mess, because mess is an official mess, and that as per the extended workplace definition, the mess also comes under the workplace definition, and you cannot escape from your liability which you have, which you incurs, and the crime you have done, that is of the sexual harassment. So this is what I mean to say, the extended workplace, which is very important. And now aggrieved woman, definition of aggrieved woman, who can be an aggrieved woman? So aggrieved woman may be a woman, of course, who is an employee, who comes for employment. But this is not limited to that only. In fact, I'm telling you, in the Post Act, any person, any female person who comes to the workplace, and workplace may be an educational institution, it may be a factory, it may be an industry, it may be a shop, it may be any organization. So even if a client comes, female client comes, or customer comes to that workplace, and if she feels some kind of acts which otherwise falls in the sexual harassment category, that she will also get the benefit of the Post Act. So the aggrieved woman is not, the meaning is not restrictive, that it will apply only to the employee or to the employer or those who works in the premises. So even if the customer who come from the outside and has no role in the workplace otherwise, but if she comes there and she is mistreated, she misbehaved, and she feels an act of sexual harassment, then Post Act will apply there, and she can take the benefit of the Post Act. Then because we have seen, and our speakers have told to you about the internal complaint mechanism. First of all, the complaint has to be given in 6 copies. And then, of course, the formation of the committee, ICC, there would be a senior woman member. And there would be, there would be one of the members which will come from NGO, and which will be an external member, of course. Now, this is with regard to the, I mean to say, organized sector. Now, what happens to the unorganized sector? If a woman who comes to your house for work as your maid, where she will report? Where is the internal complaint committee? Now, what is the remedy in the Post Act for her? Because this area has been left out. So I just want to fill up the gap for those who works in an unorganized sector, or or in domestic, those who are involved in domestic works, or laborers, or you would have seen that other areas where there is no internal complaint committee, in that case where they will report. So there is a local committee. There will be a local committee which will be formed by the district officer or by the government at district level, and in that case there will be a woman of reputation having an experience dealing with this matter, and then there would be another woman who come from taluka or from district, and of course one woman who come from the NGO, like that. So there would be, for this unorganized sector, there will be a local committee. Now this local committee can conduct an inquiry, and after conducting an inquiry, if they find the if they find the weight in the complaint, or they find that the offense of sexual assault has happened in that, they will then initiate police action. They may report it to the police to register an FIR under section 509 of the IPC, outraging the modesty of the woman. So this is for the unorganized sector. Now one thing which is left is how to sensitize the people at workplace. This is very important, that otherwise there is I tell you, it is the duty of every citizen to know the law of the land, because ignorancia of law is non-excusat. Ignorance of law is not excusable. You cannot take the defense that I did not know the law, and so I should not be punished. Otherwise, it is the duty of every citizen to know the law of the land, but to sensitize the people at the workplace is the duty of the employer. Like in the starting of this webinar, I am impressed by the principal of Janki Devi Memorial College, Dr. Swati Pal, who says that she has constituted a committee in her college, and she looks after the causes, and that she sensitized their employees about that. So in the very starting, she informed about the formation of the committee. So this job of sensitizing, by how to sensitize the people, by organizing workshops, by organizing seminars, by conducting training program, and by informing them a monthly, by taking a meeting and informing them about the rights of the woman, about the internal complaint mechanism. So that at various levels the employer can take steps to aware and to sensitize the public, their employers or public at large. Now one more thing which is which an employer can do, they may take, or they may sometimes call the legal experts from either from the court or from some law college or law schools, and organize a workshop at their place of workplace, and can inform their employers about the laws that are prevailing in the country, and particularly for sensitizing the male employees, and so that they could know the law, they could know the gravity of the offense, or then it will leave a long-lasting impact on their mind, that they will avoid while while they will do certain while certain acts. So this may sensitize them. Now you would have seen, generally women are treated as inferiors in the society, and this has also impacted a great on their mind. Women also has accepted this, that it is psychologically they have accepted, because we live in a male dominating society, patriarchal system of society, whereby that females are always treated as inferior. They have been they have been treated on second pedestal, that. So what I mean to say is that women should leave this type of they must leave these kind of stereotypings, and they should raise their voice. They should report the matter. They should not treat themselves as inferior. It is a male dominating society. Struck this mentality, struck this attitude, and come forward. Either it is the it is your workplace, or you are on the road, wherever you are, struck this and give a blow to that this kind of attitude and this this kind of mental or psychological attitude of the males. Now, what one more thing, why does sexual harassment happens? Why what are the basic reasons why this happen? Most sexual harassment is used by men against women as a display of power, with the intention to intimidate, force, and degrade her. And as Mriganka ji told, that Bollywood movies, they also leaves a very degrading, impact on the minds of our, of the public. Like, अगर कोई छेड़छाड़ हो रही है वहां पे, तो उसको हम लाइट में लेते हैं, बहुत हल्के में दिखाते हैं कि ये तो ऐसे ही, मतलब कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है. तो इससे क्या है कि जो गर्ल्स हैं वो जो देखती हैं उसको, तो वो फिर अगर कोई उनके साथ में इस तरह का ऑफेंस होता भी है तो दे लीव दैट मैटर, that it has been normalized by the Bollywood, and by serials and dramas. So this should not happen, because in real life what our Mriganka madam has informed us, there is a difference between the two. Real life is completely different from real life. We should stand up for our cause. We should raise our voice, because you are no way inferior to man, neither in muscular power nor in in your mind power. Women are working in every sphere, in every walk of life, in every field they can work. It is only the case the opportunities were denied to them. Otherwise, they have proved their capacity. They have proved their worth, that they can do any job. So this attitude, which is basically the man shows that they are powerful to the woman, and that's why that intention is to intimidate, coerce, and degrade her. Then sexual harassment frequently happens in high pressure working environments and in workplaces where the stresses and challenges facing supervisors and managers are not always recognized or acknowledged. So high pressure environment is one of the responsible factor for sexual harassment. And sexual harassment has a very negative impact on women's health and well-being. Why? Because whatever has happened to you, unless you will express it to either to someone, it will have a that impact on your mind, psychological impact. Like you will feel fear, you may feel fear, anxiety, and that other kind of psychological problems may happen. And sometimes women goes in that great trauma, and that deep trauma, and this is very medically that stage where very difficult to recover, because they keep this thing inside their heart, inside their mind. So what I'm stressing is that speak up, stand up, report every matter, report every instance of sexual harassment. And sexual harassment is subjective. It is not always the case that it will be committed by the intention of the perpetrator. It is subjective. Subjective means what you have received, the act, how you receive the act, how you feel. If someone touches you, it may happen that there might not have been any intention on the part of the perpetrator, but his touch is at a wrong place where the woman felt uncomfortable. In that case, it is subjective. I am saying it is subjective. And the Supreme Court has also endorsed this view in 2010 in one of a remarkable case that it is subjective. It is not the intention that will be counted in case of sexual harassment, but it is what woman has felt. If someone, you know, that 354 after this Verma after this Nirbhaya case, Justice Verma committee has recommended for amendment in 354, and now 354 has you know, that has been amended and 4 new sections are added, and one section is 354D, stalking. So in case of stalking, if someone stares you and makes you uncomfortable, it is a case of sexual harassment. So no one is at liberty to stare you to that an extent which makes you uncomfortable. Now what happens generally, girls leaves this matter and go away, but no, this will not. Report it, bring it to the authorities, initiate the mechanism, initiate the law. And that's why I told you in the starting, if you don't know the weapon, how to use it, then nothing would be fruitful. It is of no use to have the law. And 70% matters in this country are going unreported. Moreover, the role of the police, people, you know that. So this is what you know, that we have to come forward. We have to bring the matter to the knowledge of the internal complaint committee or local committee, as the case may be. Either you are you work in an organized sector or you work in an organized sector, or then it may happen. Post Act also has given this liberty to the people who are associated with the aggrieved woman. They may file the complaint. It is not the victim only who may become complainant. He may be her doctor, he may be her relative who can file the complaint. So complaint may be filed by, like in case of physical incapacity, in that case, or in case of death, then who will, if some case of sexual harassment has resulted, then who will report the matter? So anyone may, on behalf of the aggrieved woman, may bring complaint as a complainer on behalf of that aggrieved woman to the notice or to the knowledge of the internal complaint committee. And then there are the provisions of relief. Generally, in Post Act, there is a mechanism that you know, that I mean to say, interim relief. First, conciliation will be done if the woman, but conciliation with the request of the, on the request of the woman only conciliation can be done. If the woman does not want to you know, that stretch the matter, she may write to the ICC to conciliate, for conciliation, or to have to settle the controversy. In that case, conciliation may be done, but that conciliation should not be done by paying the money to the complainant. Means monetary settlement cannot happen. Monetary settlement cannot happen. Settlement may happen if the you know, that if the offender gives an unconditional apology, if he you know, that gives guarantee not to repeat this in future to other you know, that woman or other female employee, or to her as well. So in that case, you know, that conciliation may be done, or if he feels sorry and gives a written apology, so that conciliation may be done. Then some there are, you know, that question of interim relief, which can be provided to the woman in the Post Act. There is a provision. Then you know, prevention is, as I told you, better than cure. This is one of the, you know, that important proverb. We always you know, that remember that. So as I told you, it is the duty of the employer to you know, that to actually you know, that make an environment in the premises and in the extended workplace, whatever falls in the definition, so that such kind of you know, that encouragement where sexual harassment may happen to the female should not be given to the male employees. I mean to say the policy of discouraging the male or by that sensitizing them. I have already spoken on that. And then there would be a monitoring committee. I mean to say the employer should monitor the working of the of the ICC time to time, should can change the policy, and that immediately should bring it to the knowledge and to the information of all concerned in their premises. Then this if there is a provision which already our earlier speaker had told to you, that in case woman is not satisfied with the findings of the internal complaint committee or local committee, as the case may be, then appeal can be filed. So both the accused, I mean to say the respondent, or the that complainant have the right to appeal to the to the court. They can go and file the appeal, or the internal complaint committee can also request to the police to initiate action under IPC, Indian Penal Code, for whatever offense the that Perpetrators Act falls. Also, that this sexual harassment, what is actually sexual harassment? This is also that very important, because I just want to tell you the occasions when it will be sexual harassment and when it is not. So implied or explicit promise of preferential treatment in employment, quid pro quo, as I told you. Then implied or explicit threat of detrimental treatment in employment. Then interfering with work, creating an intimidating or offensive or hostile work environment for the female, humiliating treatment likely to affect the health and safety of the employee. So these are the occasions that of sexual harassment. They all falls in that category of the sexual harassment, besides the that verbal and written that act of sexual favors, sexually colored remarks, and any gesture. It may be by gesture, it may not be by word and by writing only, it may be by gesture, that this act may fall in that. So now what would be the effect on the business if this will continue, and ICC or other whatever the mechanism is there, if they don't act, then what would happen to the business? I just want to tell you certain impacts that would result. Let me find out the yes, it makes business sense. Does it make business sense? My question is that if the aggrieved woman is not, or if the justice is not delivered to aggrieved woman, or matters of sexual harassment are not addressed properly, then does it have any does it make any business sense? So yes, workplace violence has significant economic cost for any organization, and non-addressing it can lead to decrease in productivity, decreased rate of rate of attrition, or if the matters are properly addressed, we can positively study the impact of them, then it may help in increasing the production. Why production will increase? Because the employees, female employees who experience sexual harassment, when the complaints will be properly addressed, and then the perpetrators will be disgraced, and then they will take interest in the work of the organization, and that may increase, you know, that production. If it is a factory, if it is a, take a, you know, that food industry, garment industry, pharmaceutical industry, wherever the women are working. And in case of educational institution, what would happen? The dropout rate of the women will decrease, because you know that in rural areas, I'm telling you, generally parents don't send their daughter to the school, or female to the school, because they receives the information that you know that their daughters or their sisters, they are being harassed sexually at the either at the school or on the way to the school. So what ultimately happens, and what ultimately results, is that they drop the student from the school, and ultimately it leaves a negative impact. The ultimate effect come on the woman. So then, you know, that if the matters will not be addressed properly, or sexual harassment is a major you know that reason to leave the jobs, then in that case, you know, that women will be discouraged to come for jobs. So then, you know, that, or they may you know that they may keep themselves absent from the workplace. Then there are other, you know, that factors, like if the matters will not be addressed properly by the system that is you know that meant under the Post Act. In that case, the woman may lack confidence, lack of self-confidence, and you know that if the concern is of safety of the woman, so in that case we can understand that ultimately the loss is of the woman. They will you know that they will either decide to leave the job, or they will not come to educational institution. Ultimately, women will be affected. This will have a negative impact on our, you know, that women's. So it is important that these kind of you know that matters should be handled immediately as soon as the complaints is brought to the ICC or to the local committee. Now, I don't want to go on to the time limit, as it has already been told to you, you know, that within 3 months, 90 days, the complaint has to be filed. Okay. Now, one thing I want to discuss with you is what is the format of the complaint. This is very important. Sometimes people feel how to write a complaint. See, I am telling you one important thing is that a well-drafted document is always given a weight. Well drafted. How it is well drafted? The complaint should be properly addressed to the ICC members and not to the employer. This is very important. When in every organization there is a ICC, the complaint should be addressed to the ICC member. And as you know that our other speakers told to you, it is the duty of the employer to inform to the employees about the ICC, constitution of the ICC, and their phone number should be displayed in the premises. And zero tolerance policy, there must be a display of that zero tolerance policy against sexual harassment. This kind of display would surely discourage the perpetrators. So well-drafted document whereby the complaint should be properly addressed, then complaint should be concise. It is always good to write your complaint in brief, reporting all the matters, relevant matters, rather than making it a bulky complaint. Make it precise, because precise complaints have the chances to be proved later on. If it will be bulky, and if you know that you write everything which may become irrelevant to the case, then in that case, you know that it will later on some problems may happen. So it is otherwise advised. It should be concise, brief, and covers all the eyewitnesses, relevant points, material points, substantial points, which are very relevant for the case to be taken up and presented before the authorities, proper authorities. Then of course, while you are drafting the complaint, details of the exact incident that has happened with you, time of the incident, date of the incident, and witnesses, of course, very, very relevant and important. Then whether the complainant asked the respondent to desist from the unwelcome action. If you have if it is first time, it is second time, you can mention, you can inform to the ICC that on previous occasions also the respondent has acted in that way, and then I desist him not to repeat that act. So you may inform to the complaint committee that you whether it is first time or it is repeated act of the perpetrators. Then complainant should write if the sexual harassment is done by call, is done by stalking on through internet, because stalking is not limited to physical stalking. It may happen through internet, as I told you, internet cyber stalking. We call it as cyber stalking. So in that case, you should give the proper details of the meetings, or of the by whatever medium you are being assaulted. Then details of the respondent, including his name if you know, then designation, and then other relevant information about the respondent if you have. You should write in your complaint. Do not state any fact that is false or incorrect, because there is a mechanism in there is a provision in Post Act. Their action may be taken against the complainant who is the frivolous complaint or false complaint. In that case, action may be taken against the complainer itself. So please always state the correct and true facts. Okay, and this will help you later in proving your case. However, you will not be cross-examined by the either by the respondent or by the ICC, but your statement will be read by the other party, by the respondent. So if you are because the respondent has also the right to be defended, as Desai Madam told to you that respondent has the right to defend, and the principles of natural justice cannot be denied to the respondent as well. So by reading your statement, if you have written a fact which is not correct, in that case he may bring some evidences which may otherwise cross you, or which may held you that you are lying, or your claim does not support your state the incident. So in that case, to the extent, you should be very honest while reporting the matter. And then the relief that you want to sought from the employer. So of course there are provisions what can be done. You can get the leave, or the either the respondent, or if you want, you can be transferred to other place of the other place where complainant feels safe. If you can demand for your transfer, it may happen. You will be given the relief. So these are some of the good provisions of the Post Act, and then as you can read the policy of the particular institution, and the post policy. It will be you can visit their website. You can read there, or you can ask the policy from the employer, and they will provide you the this. So these are the good provisions, and punishment and compensation. Punishment under the service rules of the organization, it has already been informed to you by the Desai Madam and by Mriganka ji both, what are the punishment under the service rules. The disciplinary action may be taken as per the service rules, and then the compensation that has been paid to the aggrieved woman will be deducted from the salary of the respondent person. So these are the provisions which of course protects you, which will give you the protection, particularly at workplace. And then confidentiality, where already told to you, confidentiality, your name and your identity will be will not be disclosed to anyone. For the sake of your security and safety, it will not be disclosed, it will not be displayed, and all the whole things go on that in camera. I'm in the beyond the I mean to say inside the camera, that is will not be open to anyone except you and the respondent, both of you. And then respondent has the right, he can take your complaint, he can read, he can evaluate, he can also put up the defenses. So these are some of the provisions. I just tried to fill up the gaps. Otherwise, the Mriganka ji has already informed you about the Post Act, because this is one of the act which ultimately covers the matters of sexual assault. And sexual assault has, that in 2013, when this Nirbhaya case happened, in IPC, the meaning of the sexual assault has also been extended. Now, that it covers other acts in IPC as well. Voyeurism, when a woman is doing some act in private, that cannot be seen. It is expected, it should not be seen by any other male, that members. So voyeurism and other, things are covered in that. And also in, in rape laws in 375 and 376, the definition of rape has also been extended. It is not what we traditionally understood. So now the in the ultimate analysis, my take on all that is on this is that we have so many laws for the protection of the woman, but the thing is that woman has to stand up for their cause. You have to speak up. Don't wait for others to come up for you. Don't wait for the media to come up for you. Report. I tell you one important case before I close this that lecture. There is one case that happened in Maharashtra. In this case, a school teacher, after the college, when the college closed, a school teacher was was raped by the male colleagues of her, and a student saw the incident. The teacher did not inform the incident of rape neither to her mother, to her friend, and to police. Police is the, that वो तो बहुत ही दूर की बात है कि वो पुलिस में गई. अपनी मदर को नहीं बताया, अपनी दोस्तों को नहीं बताया, और इस वजह से क्या हुआ कि जो उस बच्चे ने जिसने इंसिडेंट देखा था उसने ये बात गांव में बताई. एंड लेटर ऑन everyone in the village, they were discussing about this incident that happens. And then the villagers came to the school and they asked the same thing from the teacher, and then they informed to the police. Then this has happened. The matter of rape was reported, and then she was interrogated, and then accused were arrested. But very unfortunate, very sorry to tell you, because the conduct of the woman was that it was proved that whatever has happened, it has happened by the consent of the woman, because the very next day she reported for duty to the school. So her conduct, your conduct is very important. Conduct also matters. If you delay in filing the complaint, if you can at least inform to your colleagues, I mean to say your female friend, your mother, your doctor, your teacher. Don't delay. Delay in filing may may bring injustice, and may bring suspicion in the minds of the authorities as well, and you may be in the sphere of suspicion then. However, it may be that compensated by the lawyers by saying so many things, by arguments. But generally, don't wait for others to come up for you. As soon as you feel any assault, which I told you very subjective, whether a person touched you with intent or touched you without intent, even if you feel that someone has touched you and you feel uncomfortable, report it, object it, and then only the very purpose of making the laws will be served. Otherwise, if you will not report, you will not initiate the machinery, you will not initiate the action, then there is nothing, there is no use of making the law. And that's why, that tool is useless, not worthy of anything. Okay, so that is my take on that. If you have any questions, you can ask. Because post-act, I don't want to repeat other things which already have been discussed. I just wanted to add on to fill up the gaps. And also, this is not that you have the right only in post-act only. As a female, as a woman, you have the right of complaint if you feel any act of sexual assault, sexual abuse on road, at your home. And I'm telling you one important fact I'm telling you for the girls, be very sharp and be very, cautious. It is one of the statistics which says that sexual assault is committed by none. This is a proven fact. 85% cases of sexual assault is committed by your known, by your relatives. So be very cautious. He may be anyone, male may be from any section, he may be your relative, he may be your close relative, he may try to sexually abuse you, because it is a statistics. Sexual assault from unknown persons only constitute 15%, and generally rape, because I have no time to tell you the actual that data. I have the slides, I could tell you the crime rate.
Prachi, you are muted. I think some disturbances on sir end.
Sir is not audible. I think he got disconnected.
I'm trying to reconnect. Please wait, sir is trying to reconnect.
Okay, all right.
Attendance as well as feedback is shared in the chat box. Kindly fill it.
Also, we request everyone to fill both the feedback and the attendance form, please. Thank you.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes. So, because of some internet problem, my connection has broken and now I'm connected through mobile phone. So these were some of the highlights of the Post Act and of other provisions of the IPC. And if you feel that you need any legal assistance, legal help, you can have my number, my mail ID. You want to ask any question on legal problems, you can convey to me. I will answer to you. What should you do in such a situation? I generally like it to help the females and women, because I myself have 2 daughters. I am a father of 2 daughters, and I understand how difficult it is, particularly for parents who are having the daughters to handle the situations. So any act, if at any point of time you feel it amounts to sexual abuse, sexual violence, please report it to your family, report it to your parents. Then your parents and you both can report it to the ICC, or if it is an educational institution, or if you work in in some employment, you are in employment, or even on road, you can go to the police, report the matter. Don't try to hide it. Don't try to leave the perpetrator, because by this act of yours, he will get encouragement. He will do this. He will does this act to some other female, to some other woman, and this will become gone. So ultimately, someone has to come forward, like Bhavri Devi has come forward. Her contribution cannot be ignored, because it is because of her, that she was an illiterate lady. I'm telling you this important fact. She was an illiterate lady. She works in the government of Rajasthan in rural development program, and she took this initiative of fighting with the evil. However, she faced the consequences, but her contribution as this Post Act is because of her. This Post Act is because of her. Vishaka guidelines was because of her. And whatever we are discussing today, it is the whole credit goes to that woman, to that. She stood up, raised voice. However, she felt sacrifice has to be done. But that does not mean that we will not come forward and we will not report the matter to the authorities. So this is my, I want to close it now. If you have any questions, you can raise, you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are very honored that we got the opportunity of having you with us today and getting a chance to learn from you. We will be taking a few questions from the participants now.
Yeah, yes.
The participants can either unmute themselves or write in the chat box if they have any questions.
It would be better if the participant directly asks the question to me, because I'm now connected through mobile phone and it is very difficult for me to open the chat box. I generally take the meetings through laptop. So directly you can ask them to ask the question verbally.
They're writing in the chat box, I'll convey them to you.
Yes. You can do that.
विकास सर, मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है, क्या साइबर क्राइम को लेकर भी वर्कप्लेस सेफ्टी में कोई नया एडिशन हुआ है?
देखिए, इसमें अभी ऐसा तो क्योंकि ये 2013 में ही आया है मैडम, तो पहले तो 16 साल इसको लग गए हैं। विशाखा गाइडलाइंस 97 में आई थी और गवर्नमेंट बहुत रिलेक्टेंट थी, गवर्नमेंट लाना ही नहीं चाहती थी। ये तो अगर निर्भया वाला केस ना होता 2013 में और जस्टिस वर्मा कमेटी की रिकमेंडेशन की वजह से ही ये पोस्ट एक्ट जो सेफ्टी एट वर्क प्लेस मिला है, तो अब को डर होता कि कहीं अगर ये प्रूव नहीं हुई और कंप्लेंट फॉल्स या फ्रिवलेस हो गई तो हमारे खिलाफ एक्शन हो जाएगा। तो या वो जो है और कई तरह की इसमें मतलब जो है वीकनेसेस हैं, डेफिशिएंसीज हैं, बट जैसे जैसे प्रॉब्लम नोट होंगी तो हो सकता है कि आगे इसको और ज्यादा इफेक्टिव बनाने के लिए और इफेक्टिव रिड्रेसल हो, अमेंडमेंट्स और प्रपोजल आएंगे. बट सो फार देयर इज नो प्रपोजल फॉर अमेंडमेंट ऑफ पोस्ट एक्ट.
Okay, sir. Thank you. If there is any question from the side of participants, please ask.
I don't think there are any questions now.
So I think we can wind up with a valuable note from the
Yes.
Poonam ma'am.
Yes. Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with immense wisdom. Now I would request Poonam ma'am to say a few words.
On behalf, good evening, everybody. On behalf of the Career Opportunity Cell, it gives me great pleasure to thank all the resource persons who gave us a very, very, broad version, insight into what we are dealing with. Starting with Ms. Mriganka Dadwal, I mean, her NGO SLAP is so appropriately named. And, very enlightening, very engaging session we had with her. And she basically talked about the importance of the Vishaka guidelines at the place of work. Advocate Hina Desai gave a few examples about the cases, told a bit in detail about the ICC. And Dr. Vikas Kumar really filled up all the gaps which were left by them. Really thankful to you, Dr. Vikas, that you joined and you came here. And I think the most important lesson that our girls need to learn is what you said. Stand up, speak up. Nobody is going to come for you. And you have to realize this. And that is one of the most important lessons that the girls of today have to learn. And combine that with the 3 A's that were discussed: alertness, awareness, and addressal. Also, I would like to thank our principal, Professor Swati Pal, who really gave a very enlightened speech, which was recorded and sent. She's always encouraging and motivating us to speak on contemporary topics. Special thanks to the IQAC Janki Devi Memorial team, especially Dr. Shilpa Chaudhary, who helped in organizing this event. And finally, to the Career Opportunity Cell, who were there as a team, who organized it, put it together, and made this event possible. Thank you all.
Thank you, Poonamji. Thank you very much. And in the end, that I just want to say a few lines. It is really, that an opportunity for me to speak and on such a important, that topic, and the idea, basically this, your that IQAC cell and Career Opportunity Cell has conceived and invited me to speak on that. I am really so thankful to you. I cannot express my happiness in words that I have been provided by you the opportunity to speak for women cause. I wait for.
We welcome speakers like you, and law की बातें तो बहुत कोई बता देता है, but वो हिम्मत देना, वो बोलना कि आप अपने लिए नहीं खड़े होगे तो कोई तुम्हारे लिए नहीं खड़ा होगा. And this is not only here. I think it's in every field of life. You have to stand up. And there were some issues where girls are scared. They don't even talk about it. They don't even want to discuss it. And you were very right. Intention क्या है वो मतलब नहीं है. आपने क्या सोचा है, that is what is important. And you should never be afraid to speak out against that. So thank you very much for enlightening session. And you were really our, know and all. जो उन्होंने बताया उसको कैसे सीमेंट करना है, आगे कैसे जोड़ना है, आप वो हमारे सूत्रधार थे जिन्होंने, made this event truly memorable. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your presence mattered a lot to us today.
Thank you, Prachi.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words are always inspiring.
Thank you so much. Now you can display the structure of ICC committee so that the students may see.
Yeah, that is very important because most of them said we don't have one or we don't know.
The media team would be doing that, I guess. Is the media team going to do that? Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Is the media team going to do that?
You go ahead and do it. You've started your screen sharing.
Okay, it is there.
Prachi, please continue.
Sorry, you weren't audible.
So we have internal complaint committee that is working under the instructions of Vanda Madan. She is associate professor and presiding officer. And we have one of the lawyer who is external member. Basically, he is practicing in Supreme Court. Shahrukh Alam is working and associated with the National Commission for Women also. So you should know we have this kind of committee in our court.
And you all know Dr. Rooplekha has retired, but other members are Dr. Poonam Kanwal. Ms. Poonam Abbott is from the administrative side. She's the section officer. And Ms. Pushpa Rawat is in the accounts department. And we also have the students coordinators in this. Meenal Jain, Harshita, BCom Honors, and Prachi Khandelwal, BA program. I think what we can do is we can display this more clearly. Actually, girls, I think the reason why you didn't know was because college mein ye sab information is displayed on the notice boards. So since we have stopped coming to colleges, it's very difficult for you also to understand. And half the times, I think, I don't know how many of you actually go through the website, but it is very much there on our website. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have been fortunate enough to have the blessings of a visionary like a respected principal ma'am, Professor Dr. Swati Pal, who has dared to dream the impossible, and we are extremely grateful for the constant support provided by her. We would also like to extend a heartfelt thanks to Dr. Poonam Bhutra ma'am, who has helped us grow with her support and guidance. Your mentorship has always been an invaluable gift to us, ma'am. Furthermore, we have with us our extremely hardworking and diligent teachers who have encouraged and supported the cell and contributed to its success. Thank you for your insightful words and guidance. We are abundantly honored to have had you with us today. We are grateful to you for lending us your precious time. We look forward to having more such lively sessions. Thank you all. Attendance and feedback forms have been shared in the chat box. Kindly fill them.
We are waiting for another 2 and 3 minutes. Please join in. Please fill the form. Yes, you can leave the meeting if you fill the form. Thank you, Ani. अनुराधा लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग बंद कर दो.
हाँ इंदु, वो क्लोज कर दीजिए.
रिकॉर्डिंग भी. अनुराधा मुझे होस्ट बनाना एक बार.